Peace, 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 people. I hope that you're having a blessed day. Thank you for watching. If you could, please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I am short for 4Black, or you can call me 4Black Righteous Folks Home, whatever way makes you comfortable. Today, I want to talk about the migrants. I know I've been kind of dilly-dallying on talking about other things that were more pressing, such as Aja Africa's passing. Rest in peace to her. I want to now transition over to talking about what's happening to America and how this migrant crisis seems to be ever increasingly becoming a problem for Black Americans. And of course, Pan-Africans such as Dynast Amir loves to rub shit in our faces about woe is America. It's going out with a bang. You're not gonna make it. It is your fault for what's happening, as if the whole entire globe has not been affected by migrants. The UK has been overran by migrants. Canada, Mexico, America, everywhere there's a migrant crisis. Italy had a migrant crisis. So this is a global phenomenon. And these are globalists that are enabling this phenomenon to be. It is not the fault of Black Americans, as Dynast Amir would like us to believe, that our vote for Democrats, which I don't believe we voted in large numbers for Biden. I just think that they lied and said so, because we did not come out for Biden more than some damn Obama. Come on. It's my opinion that it was rigged, and they blamed it on us like they do every damn thing else. But even still, it's not our fault for the migrant crisis. So I want to get to Dynast Amir's last live. Hi to everyone. One on done bet. No, I wasn't born Friday the 13th. And Black Native, hello. Black Righteous Dynast is at it again. Yes, he's always at it again. He's always finding different ways to accuse Americans of doing something wrong, of not being adequate enough in America, not being full-fledged Americans, and everything else under the sun that he can think to throw at us in hopes to get people to believe in the hype of Africa. You need to go visit with him and his touring team, or his touring company. Anything but fight, anything but what can we do different? How can we move to get the attention of the United States? What can we do to preserve ourselves as best we can? Nothing of that magnitude he would offer. He wants to offer bashing, blaming, and just being disrespectful about the situation in Chicago and New York. Luckily, I don't live in neither one of those states. I would really hate to see what is happening to the Black Americans over there. I know that they're being most affected by these migrants, and they will continue to be affected by the loss of funds, programs, and all kinds of stuff that used to be given to the poor communities, which would affect the Black and, Mexican and some poor whites as well. But the migrant crisis is not just affecting Black Americans. Let me just put that out there like that. It's affecting anyone in the vicinity of these situations, anyone that is living nearby, or anyone that has to go to stores, that has to go take care of business, that has to be out and about on the streets. They could be affected by the migrants because of crime. There's all kinds of things and ways in which the migrant crisis can directly or indirectly affect you, whether you're ready or not. And so the blame that's being placed solely on Black Americans is just ridiculous. So let's listen to Dynast Amir get going with his blaming tactics that he always does. What's up, Ola Kala Kadit Dala? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. I know that you've been wanting to come through, but thanks to see you. Oh, hold on. That's not the right one. Hold on. Oh, yes, it is. They made the video go back. Hold on. Oh, I hate this. Hold on. They made me start all over again. Hold on.
Everyone, thank you again. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for rocking with me on a Tuesday night. Well, it's Tuesday night here in Atlanta. You know, starting to warm up. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's starting to warm up. I miss Africa, though. But I will be back in Africa. Come on, focus. There we go, man. I'll be back in Africa in May for the Jazz Festival, for Dakar Art and the Jazz Festival. If you would like...
I don't care about you going to a jazz festival. Let me fast forward this. Hold on.
I'm like, listen, why not hit that up as well?
Again, we are in dire straits.
Learn more.
In America, we don't have the luxury to be burning money to give to his ass, which is what he wants us to do. And he's very disrespectful about trying to get people to do what he wants.
In the White House.
Hold on, let me...
This is one of my favorite Kamala Harris. It's one of my go-to search. And you can purchase the documentary. It's streamed. You can watch it wherever you're at. You know, just log into the site, and there you go. You can view the best documentary on, you know, building that bridge or reconnecting back between Africa and the diaspora in Africa. There we go. So please go to searchforhuru.com. Link is in the banner down there to learn more. All right, let's jump into today's topic. Let's jump into today's topic. It is self-inflicted. In fact, let me play this video first. This is one of my favorite Kamala Harris interviews, y'all. This is one of my favorite Kamala Harris interviews. But let's step back a little bit more. You know, we're gonna get there. Let me play this. No, it's not. Okay, it's not the pyramid. It's not. All right, it's not. We declared that. Let's step back a little bit. We gotta step back a little bit. So, Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, who the black community took credit for putting him in the White House, who the black community took credit for, the black community took credit for saving democracy and saving the Democratic Party, who the black community demanded that Joe Biden put black women into positions of power on his cabinet in reward because the black community saved Joe Biden, said himself that his top two priorities were immigration and the alphabet community. Again, Lori, this is the thing. Any black man that allows himself to be bullied in his own household, I don't know what to say. Because you have a point there, but we're not going to feel sorry for black men. Again, we're not going to feel sorry for black men because black men were scared to put their foot down. I'll give you a prime example. I know several black men who told me that they had to vote for Sleepy Joe because their mama and them wasn't going to allow them to come over and have Thanksgiving dinner. I know several black men who said they had to vote for Sleepy Joe because, there's going to be problems in the house. So now, don't feel sorry for black men. I'm dead serious. I promise you do not understand the number of black men I spoke to who said, Dynast, I gotta vote for Sleepy Joe because my mama and them said I can't come to Thanksgiving dinner if I don't. I gotta vote for Sleepy Joe because I gotta keep peace in the house, Dynast.
If he really thinks that the vote is all that caused this situation to happen, he is a dumb bird. There's a number of things that happen. People, the powers that be that wanted this to be, this is being done deliberately, synchronized with other floodings of migrants throughout the globe. It was inevitable that this was going to happen if this Democrat gets in office or got in office. And we're the lesser number here, y'all. 13%, if that. Somehow we're blamed for Biden. There's more white people here and there's other groups of people here that voted for him. And I really don't think that we came out in numbers to vote for Biden, like I said. But to place the blame solely on our vote is pretty lame, considering how bad off it is throughout the globe. He's not looking at the globe. He's looking at blaming somehow us. Now he's blaming Black American men, saying, oh, you got punked by your family. You didn't stand up to your vote. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I gotta keep peace in the house. This is where black men are at right now. So we're not gonna feel sorry for him. And in fact, I'm not gonna use the word bully. I'm not gonna use the word bully.
You are bullying.
Those are facts.
Someone in the chat room said that he's bullying, and that's exactly what he's doing. Before I get back to his bitch ass, let's look at some of the migrant news that's happening right now. Again, to put it off on all the votes or only votes as being the reason why this migrant crisis is happening in America, again, is very foolish. There are a lot of different pieces that are being played against us. And white Americans need to wake up and understand that, you know, America is being snatched away from you also by what's happening. Even if it's not coming to the suburbs, it's still directly and indirectly affecting you because you still have to go out in the world. You still have to go to work. You still have to go to stores. You still have to go to the post office. You still got to be out and about. You still go to the mall. You guys go to the park. You guys go to gyms. You guys go to a lot of different places routinely where these people can be setting up shop, looking, lying in wait to rob you, to kill you, to beat you up. All these different things are happening behind these migrants coming over here. We allowed terrorist cells to essentially come over here, not just Black Americans, but this government, I would say, enabled by globalists, supported by globalists.
So we've seen a spate of some very brazen cell phone robberies in New York City that's been attributed to a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua, which has its origins at a prison outside of Caracas. A number of the gang members escaped in September 2023 when the Venezuelan government raided the prison. And a lot of them have come over within this surge of migrants from Venezuela into the United States. In the last fiscal year, there have been like 340,000 encounters at the U.S. southern border with Venezuelan migrants. Among those, Border Patrol has apprehended 41 Tren de Aragua gang members. Law enforcement says they are infiltrating cities in the United States and maybe forming alliances with gangs that are already established here. We're seeing the presence of Tren de Aragua in New York City. We're seeing all these brazen cell phone robberies where two guys on a moped will go onto a sidewalk in Manhattan and they will steal a cell phone out of the hands of somebody who's actually talking on the phone. This is important because if you're talking on the phone, your phone is open. So the guy on the back of the scooter just keeps tapping the phone so that all of your apps are open, and then they take it back to a gang leader in the Bronx where, you know, a hacker goes through and drains people's bank accounts, The phones are then bundled up and sent to Colombia where they're resold. So it's suddenly a big mess.
Okay, suddenly a big mess that's affecting anyone and everybody that's in the vicinity of these crimes that can be committed against you. And instead of Amir talking about what can we do to prevent these crimes from happening to us, how can we protect ourselves, can't we rally around supporting one another to help with defense of these things? No, he wants to point fingers, apply blame, wag his finger, say it's your fault, bully, bash as usual. That's all Pan-Africans can do when it comes to what's happening in America, is just blame, bash, and accuse us for what's happening to America. And it's pointless to have this type of mindset against what's happening right now. What is it going to solve? What benefit does it bring to bash and to blame right now? It doesn't do anything for us. But let's look at some more news that's happening, which is going to cause more crime in these places where these migrants are going. Illegal migrants, that is.
More changes are coming to migrant shelters across the city. Starting tomorrow, an additional 20 shelters will implement a nightly curfew. CBS 2's Christy Kalishian spoke with Mayor Adams and advocates about the new rules.
From 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., the city says migrants at 20 additional shelters will have a curfew starting Monday. This announcement comes after police say a group of men assaulted 2 officers outside a migrant shelter in Times Square. And just days later, police say a 15-year-old migrant shot a woman inside JD Sports in Times Square, then allegedly fired at officers who were chasing him.
Unfortunately, the incident that happened in Times Square is kind of like, it's not the norm.
Hilda Lynn Colon Hernandez with immigrant advocacy org NICE NYC agrees with the expanded curfew for the safety of migrants. The city explains in a statement it's, quote, prioritizing the health and safety of asylum seekers and surrounding New Yorkers, and that it, quote, will allow for more efficient capacity management for migrants in the city's care. Mayor Adams spoke about the curfew at an unrelated event Sunday.
Keep it safe. That's the goal.
The mayor also emphasizing on the need for structure, organization, and federal help with the asylum seeker crisis.
The real issue is the national government should solve this problem. It's not a city problem. It's a national government problem.
The curfew initially went into effect at 4 shelters in mid-January, but is now expanded to 20 more, mostly in Manhattan. Colon Hernandez's organization provides workforce development training to hundreds of asylum seekers a month, who she says have been compliant with the first curfew.
There's hundreds of hardworking people that they're doing everything, the right thing that they want to do and be able to contribute to the city. So I hope that people doesn't get guided by their circumstances.
The expanded curfew impacts more than 3,600 more migrants across city shelters. It officially takes effect on Monday. In Prospect Park, Brooklyn, Christy Kalishian, CBS 2 News.
Like I said, it's not getting cute for anybody that's American. Why is all the blame being placed on Black Americans? Like anything that goes wrong in the world, take your pick, they find a way to blame Black Americans for it. And Dynast Amir is doing exactly what white supremacists do by blaming us. And it's shameful. Now let's look at this video, then I'll get back to Dynast Amir's bitch ass, but I want to make sure that y'all know what's really happening to our country.
He's dropping off dozens of illegal migrants at the articles of impeachment against DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas today. We've learned, is this Senate deal being negotiated going to live? I mean, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said that the Senate border deal, any border shutdown authority that allows even one illegal crossing is a non-starter. SUVs dropping off dozens of illegal migrants at the border in Jacumba, California. According to
like I said, this is an orchestration of many various people. Biden could not get away with doing this by his damn self. He would have been taken out a long time ago if it was not for the powers that be that wants this to be. They're trying to reconstruct America. They're trying to squeeze out and kill off the less fortunate people This is what's happening throughout the globe, not just in America, but specifically, since I am talking about America, we're being squeezed out. We're being killed off. The lesser than, the unfortunate, the homeless, the sickly, that doesn't have housing and this and that and the other. They're being tormented right now and essentially being killed off on purpose.
Internal federal government figures, 60% of all unlawful border crossings are now being reported in Arizona and California. For the week ending February 4th, Border Patrol averaged more than 1,800 daily migrant apprehensions in the Tucson sector and more than 1,200 in the San Diego sector. The group, appearing to be mostly adult males, made up of people from China, Turkey, Brazil, and India. Okay, so he was arrested over the weekend. I don't understand why your colleagues in the Senate are allowing anybody to come through at this point after we've learned what we've learned. Is this Senate deal being negotiated going to live? I mean, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said that the Senate border deal, any border shutdown authority that allows even one illegal crossing is a non-starter.
Thank you for that, Seven Gali. Fair use of all videos, by the way, for educational purposes and for research purposes. All content is used under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, research. Lies denied. Thank you for that. What's up, Edek? How you doing? He says Alexandria Mayorkas, head of Homeland Security, has been impeached by the U.S. Senate for not securing the south border. Pontius Biden probably threw overboard to get a new term. Wow. So he done picked out someone to be the fall guy. Isn't that something?
Into the U.S. illegally, it essentially looks like a combat zone because of all of these troops and razor wire and other barriers impeding the passage of migrants. Now the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is saying that he will expand this operation to other parts of Texas to deter illegal crossings. And it's important to note that this area has not just been sealed off to migrants, it is also now preventing federal Border Patrol agents from processing migrants there, because Texas argues that incentivizes more illegal immigration. The Department of Homeland Security is saying that this is preventing Border Patrol from doing its job, but Texas is arguing that it is defending itself from a quote-unquote invasion. That is the term that Governor Abbott is using to describe the situation. We obviously have to underscore that there is no military offensive being waged along the border, and that most of these migrants are not serious criminals, and they're certainly not armed. But obviously illegal crossings are at record levels.
I think it's shameful. I mean, this matches what I've seen in Yuma, Arizona personally. When we were down there, we saw individuals from China, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Africa, Haiti, Central and South America, you name it. Every part of the globe was present at the border that particular night that we were there.
The drop-offs, a way to alleviate crowding at the crossings. But the DHS Office of Inspector General, an internal watchdog group, found that during a 17-month stretch, 177,000 address records for migrants processed and released into the U.S. were blank or did not contain legitimate locations.
Crisis level situation in December when over 300,000 migrants were processed in 31 days, a record high. That has changed dramatically. Governor Abbott will certainly take credit for this, saying that his razor wire, the shipping containers, and the other barriers are having a meaningful impact in deterring migrants. But it is also important to note that the Mexican government has recently ramped up enforcement in the interior of Mexico, deporting more migrants to southern Mexico, to the southern state of Chiapas, and also slowing down U.S.-bound migration. So it is a confluence of factors, not just one.
Yeah, we're also seeing that they're catching illegal migrants on ranches and human smugglers. One source told me that they arrested a cartel smuggling guide this weekend who smuggled illegal immigrants into Texas, and then they realized that he was wanted for murder in Mexico.
Let's call for a federal declaration of emergency.
The Department of Homeland Security conducting an assessment of the city's handling of the migrant influx. A senior DHS official familiar with the team's findings telling NBC's Julia Ainsley the team found the city has no exit strategy to see that migrants find their way out of its shelter system.
Customs and Border Patrol sources say that they were nearly 1,100 illegal crossings in the San Diego sector on Sunday. 97 Chinese nationals and 91 Turkish nationals. The House Homeland Security Committee expects to mark up articles of impeachment against DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas today.
Texas has been under the spotlight for weeks now because of its dispute with the Biden administration over how to handle the influx of migrants at the southern border.
But new data shows that the flow of migrants crossing into the U.S. illegally has largely shifted away from Texas.
Well, it's got to be a law that fixes the problem, right? I mean, we know right now that the president has the authority to secure the border under the same laws that President Trump made the securest border that we've ever had. So it's time to get back to the basics, and H.R. 2, by every estimation, will fix
Wow, this said migrants released at the border 2.3 million since 2021. Wow.
the problem.
Let me switch gears and ask you about the Oversight Committee, because Eric Schwerin, one of Hunter Biden's former business partners, is going to appear before the House Oversight Committee for a deposition today. Schwerin was considered Hunter's point person for their Chinese business deals and was even called the money guy. He also served as a financial advisor to Joe Biden and helped him file his tax returns. It's interesting that he was financial advisor for Joe Biden and also the money guy for Hunter Biden's deals.
It is interesting. Republicans 4 months ago would not give funding for Ukraine, for Israel, and for our southern border because we demanded changes in policy. So we actually locked arms together and said, we're not going to give you money for this. We want to change in law. And now it's interesting, a few months later, when we're finally getting to the end, they're like, oh, just kidding. I actually don't want to change in law because it's a presidential election year.
Charging him with refusal to comply with the law and a breach of public trust. We are talking about this right now with South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry, a member of the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees. Thousands each day is outrageous, Mike Johnson said. The number must be zero. However, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford says Republicans are rejecting the bipartisan border deal because it's an election year. That's what he said. This is a Republican. Watch this.
And so it's really shameful that this is allowed to perpetuate, that the secretary has known for months, if not years, the problem, and he refuses to fix them.
Meanwhile,
again, this is an ongoing issue with the ongoing crisis against America. They don't want to keep America America. They want it to be a third world country. They want it to look like many other places that are struggling. They're trying to gut out America. They're trying to get rid of middle class. And it's starting to look like that's going to happen. So how could we as Black Americans be blamed for this situation that's happening globally? But again, Pan-Africans don't think very thoroughly on what they do and what they say, because again, their goal is to kind of keep us bullied and try out stuff that we're not going to try out, but we dare you try, and spend your money. Keep spending that money, keep having hope in something that's not going to materialize as a benefit and a blessing to you. Keep on believing. Try to be a Pan-African or die. Or they don't give a damn. And they're showcasing that fact. Let's get back to this bitch ass nigga.
Those are facts. So don't feel sorry for Black men. Don't feel sorry for Black men. Let me play this video real quick. So that's Sleepy Joe. Here we go. Let's run through this ad real quick.
Today I want to talk about how to grow the African American middle class and to
This is
provide
Donald Trump.
a new deal for Black America. That deal is grounded in three promises: safe communities, great education, and high-paying jobs. My vision rests on a principle that has defined this campaign right from the beginning. And you've seen where we've come from and where we are right now. It's called America First. Every African American citizen in this country is entitled to a government that puts their jobs, wages, and security first. One of the greatest betrayals has been the issue of immigration. Illegal immigration violates the civil rights of African Americans. That's what's been happening.
And he's told the truth right there. He told the truth right there. I think that we are in jeopardy if Trump does not come back. The migrants, like Seven Gali is saying, will take over if Trump is not president. It is obvious that this takeover is happening and America will not be American any longer. It's going to be a migrant country if we do not get our shit together. Not just a vote, but our attitudes about these migrants. I don't think that we should be trying to help any of them. I think that we should be trying to support them, trying to go back where they belong, where they came from. Have them go back, encourage that. People that's allowing them to stay with them, encouraging these people to want to be here, is going to make it harder for us to get our attitudes right. And you said Trump is horrible. He's better than Biden. He's better than Biden. I beg to differ. Seven Gali says so many non-pussy getting clowns on YouTube. They had to go to Africa to get women. Damn shame. Yeah, they have to go to Africa to pretend like they're men because they cannot stand on their own feet in America for real. They can't stand on their own feet for real. They can't rally together about anything for real in America. They will not let their voices be heard. They're running here, there, and everywhere. Passport bros, they have become escape artists is what they are. Houdini artists is what they are. They've turned into Houdini up in this bitch. They don't care about how they're being squeezed out. They're happily ready to go. And that's the fault of these movements and trends, such as Go Back to Africa and these passport bros, is teaching these men to not stand their ground and represent themselves for real. And they pretend to be bigger men in other countries temporarily because, again, a lot of them are coming up unalived, robbed, all kinds of stuff, drugged. It only has a life shelf of living for a short amount of time, and then things can happen to them. But they rather take that approach versus standing up collectively for a cause such as what is happening against us in America. And Dynast is among that, not trying to represent us as real men should. I'm hearing other men, not all, I shouldn't say all men that are Black Americans are not standing up for anything, because there are some, but not enough noise is being made in regards to their stance and cause. We need to be mad about this situation, not settling for it and finding a way to escape. That is going to make the other side of this worse, because you're going to be fooled into believing that paradise awaits you in Africa. And again, that's doomsday for your ass. Eventually, that's doomsday. As soon as you build something, there was a guy, he built his dream home, and Go Black to Africa had interviewed him. As soon as his house was built, he mysteriously came up dead. So many deaths are happening in Africa that people cannot explain. Then you're getting scammed, robbed, all these other things that Anja Africa alerted us about. Rest in peace to her. That we cannot think that we have got to become escape artists all the time. We got to stand up and represent here. No one's hearing anything hardly about our stance. People are just bum rushing over us right now.
This is what black people voted against. This is what black people voted against. So are black Americans being replaced by migrants? Is it self-inflicted? Absolutely. Now I'm putting replace in quotation marks. This is what you guys voted for. Well, obviously not for Trump. You guys voted for the replacement. This is Trump in 2016 telling you this is what's gonna happen. This is how the shit's gonna work. Tell me when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were talking like this. Tell me when Hillary Clinton was talking like this. Tell me when. Hold on, let me run this back.
And where we are right now. So people that has defined this campaign right from the beginning. And you've seen where we've come from and where we are right now. It's called America First. Every African American citizen in this country is entitled to a government that puts their jobs, wages, and security first. One of the greatest betrayals has been the issue of immigration. Illegal immigration violates the civil rights of African Americans. That's what's been happening.
I mean, here you go. Here you go. Meanwhile, this is where we're at now. We're not we as in we, where y'all at. Like, not we as in we. This is where y'all at. This is where y'all at now. Okay, this is what you guys voted for. This right here. Hold on. This is what you guys voted for right here. Hold on. Fair use, O'Shea. Fair use, O'Shea. Fair use. Fast forward. Vote blue no matter who. Here we go. I feel where you're coming from, but those are just feel-good words. Bro, was this immigration problem that black people are complaining about now, was it going on under Trump at this level? Yes or no? Okay, I'll rest my case.
Democratic Party, we're watching you.
Yeah.
We are disappointed. We are angry.
Yeah.
We are offended. And we feel like we're being mistreated, misused, and disrespected.
What you guys voted for? So what you voted
We
for?
will not continue to be disrespected by the Democratic Party.
Yes, you will. Yes,
As
you
I
will.
said yesterday, and I'll say today and tomorrow, if you're an independent candidate, Green Party candidate, Republican candidate, now is your time in this city.
Sorry, party's canceled. Waiting on the cable internet guy.
Candidate, now is your time in this city.
Chicago is one of the rest havens for African Americans, and it has been for years. The birth of gospel music allegedly happened in Chicago at Mount Pilgrim Baptist Church. And a lot of things have happened for African Americans in Chicago. There have been so many great things occurring, and now, unfortunately, so many concerning things happening for this great large African American population. Keep in mind that Chicago is the third biggest economy in the entire nation, which automatically makes it one of the greatest economies on planet Earth. But I digress. We all know what's going on in these major democratic cities like Chicago and New York that's occurring, such as the migrant crisis. And the migrant crisis is not only hurting the city of Chicago as a whole, in particular, it's hurting African American residents. And it's gotten so bad that the mayor, Brandon Johnson, is really getting a lot of heat, especially since he's acting as if all of this is so cool. but it's not so cool. Here's what Brandon Johnson just dropped yesterday as a news clip, and let's talk about it.
Mayor Johnson is celebrating the involvement of Black and brown businesses in feeding new arrivals. This morning, he dropped by BJ's Fresh Market and Bakery. He was there to shine a light on the $17.6 million invested in small Black and Latino-owned businesses in Chicago by the Greater Chicago Food Depository and state of Illinois as well. That money feeding more than 10,000 asylum seekers over the past 8 months.
The $17 million investment for these 18 Black and brown small businesses is really it really captures what I call the soul of Chicago. It's who we are.
Last May, the city of Chicago called on the Food Depository to help feed new arrivals.
Listen to that lingo. Black and brown businesses are feeding the migrants, trying to dress it all the way up. And of course, you always hear this Black and brown coalition. And no offense to who are the so-called brown individuals or the Hispanic community, but I would feel like a lot of African Americans or Black people don't necessarily feel like that coalition is strong. It really probably feels like the brown coalition is strong, right? But then remember, somebody in the brown coalition had this to say to a Black woman.
Want to start a business? I can show you how easy it is to form one in just a few steps. First up, starting your LLC.
No more money for you. No more money for you.
No more money for you. See, this is the problem.
Again, this is not funny. This is not really something that you should be mocking. But Dynast doesn't act like a grown man should and address what we need to do collectively to protect ourselves, because we're being overran. Not just Black Americans, by the way. There is a white guy that I'm about to show y'all who is telling his mind off about this immigration issue. And white Americans, if they think that they're going to be spared again, only if you live in your house and you don't have to leave and you have ammunition throughout. If you come out a little bit into the world doing stuff, you can and eventually will be affected, even if it's not you. It could be a friend, it could be a family, it could be an employer, it could be an employee. It could be something that will eventually attach itself to also white Americans. So nobody should be happy about none of this. And it's not the fault of Black Americans. To place that blame on us solely is really reckless, because everybody takes turns doing it. And we shouldn't do that to ourselves. We should not.
We don't have the tax base to handle it. It's a money pit. And you guys are responsible for our money. Don't screw it up. You guys are famous for screwing things up.
Really intriguing story. This is a neighborhood, town just west of Denver, Colorado. Frustration on this border matter boiling over at that city council meeting. Residents say their hard-earned tax dollars are going toward migrants and that resources are simply being overwhelmed. Alicia Cunha in Denver on this tug-of-war and where it goes next. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Yeah, the crowd was at capacity at the Lakewood City Council meeting last night. This is a community of roughly 154,000 people, about 7 miles west of Denver. And folks who live in that suburb came out to voice concerns over actions
As I stated before, even the suburbs are being affected. So nobody is hands off when being touched by this issue, by this crisis. It is not a mockable moment. There's nothing about this that should be mocked. It should be handled with sincere concern and alarm and a response to what is going on that is correct, is really necessary right now. And they're doing the right things by their suburbs. But what are men such as Dynast Amir doing? He's sitting his ass in Atlanta. I don't know if that is another state that's affected. Maybe it's not, because I don't remember here in Atlanta. But him gloating and mocking is insensitive, is pitiful, is disgraceful. And it's just like a boy that never grew up.
Their city is taking amid worry it could lead to an influx of immigrants. This as the city voted on a housing plan and whether or not to accept a $9.3 million grant for a, quote, navigation center for the unhoused.
You're going to incentivize something that you're not going to be able to deal with long term.
Citizens of Lakewood are drowning, and you're all talking about adding more water.
Everybody's taxes are going to end up going up, and the crime is going to become incredible, just like New York City.
Council members say the proposed 100-bed navigation center would serve as a transitional home, providing job training and addiction and mental health services, mostly for those already in Lakewood.
Worse, both the housing plan and a navigation center and any other social resource may in fact support people who have immigrated here. I cannot build a wall between us and Denver. That's not City Council's job.
Lakewood City Manager says they have had one informational meeting with Denver officials on how Lakewood can help with Denver's homeless and migrant overcrowding, and said there are no concrete plans to provide housing or services to those populations. Lakewood City Council meeting went on for 7 hours, and late into the night, the proposed navigation center grant was accepted with a vote of 10-1.
Well, okay, from Lakewood it goes. Lisa Cunha in Denver, Colorado. Thank you.
So Lakewood,
like I said, it's not cute. Even the suburbs is being affected. And he's not blaming the white people for voting for Biden. He's only blaming Black Americans if they did vote, because I don't believe a lot of them in mass number even bothered to vote. I was trying to vote. I got pulled over by the cop on my way to vote, literally. But this vote, I'm definitely voting. And I'm either going to be Republican or I'm going to be an independent, voting that way. Definitely not touching Democrats, because this cannot sustain itself. We are in dire straits. And even if I'm not affected by it, I can still feel the anguish and the suffering felt by the less fortunate, and how they got to wake up every day to seeing what's going on around them, how they're being disrespected and alienated and squeezed out on purpose. On purpose. And Dynast Amir, all he can talk about is we self-inflicted ourselves. Mocking, showing Biden smiling and carrying on. Like, come on, man. You're a grown-ass man doing this shit. A grown-ass man.
So, this is what Black people voted for. If you voted for the Democratic Party, this is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. If you voted for the Democratic Party, this is what you voted for. Because Joe Biden was very clear. His top 2 priorities were immigration and the alphabet community. This is what you voted for. Don't deflect. Nope. Don't be in denial.
Okay, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. I'm sorry it took me a while, but I really wanted to show what's really happening right now, and also how stupid and dumb Dynast Amir looks. Seven Gali says, Sleepy Joe has to go. Exactly, he has to go. Trump, keep it real, says, yes. E-Dex says, Dynast is aging like from the lying he does daily. Exactly, he looks pathetic. And Sixth Region is listening. Thank you for showing up. Spinal Lord, I ain't American, but I hope Trump comes back. So do I. Thank you for that. Because Joe can't even walk upstairs without falling. Yes, I'm worried about his demented and dementia seeming ass. The Sixth Region listening just arrived this morning back in New York from 21 days in Kenya. Wow. Welcome back to New York. You're about to be having a treat in a minute. Stay streaming. I'm Black and I don't give a damn who is the president is. Well, that's on you, because again, you must not be living in America to understand what is happening to America. Africa is peaceful. You must be talking about the ghettos in Africa. No, it's not. It's a different culture. A lot of stuff is happening. There's a queen by the name of Anja Africa that just passed away in the Gambia. She might have more than likely got set up in the Gambia. So no, Africa is not peaceful. 4 other women died as well in the Gambia. And no one knows how and why they died. So this notion of Africa, you can miss me, stay streaming. and keep dreaming. Dynast Amir needs to be careful, EDEC says, as more and more wake up to the reality that they are being replaced. He will be confronted in the near future. Exactly. We're being replaced. We're being squeezed out. And this is going on. This needs to go viral. Exactly, Seven Gali. I'll make a short from it. Thank you so much. Anything and all things you do, I really appreciate it. Will Weshuren says, who black? Because last time I checked, African American is a trademark. Okay. And you said I don't vote for no one in terms of legalists. Okay. Peacemaker, yes. Atlanta is being affected also. Wow. They have migrant crisis over there too? No boxing, no life. We need to stop blaming races and the people need to reunite. We need to get our shit together in America. We can't unite around the globe. We have got to get our right mentality here in America to have and form a cause for concern on what's affecting us here. We cannot be everywhere at one place at one time. We are not superheroes. And people are trying to place that shit on us. We got too much going on in front of our faces in America to be concerning ourselves with everybody else and their problems. We got our own. We're only one human. We're human. We're not supernatural. And I'm so tired of people putting this emphasis on us so much. Like we're supposed to be everybody's bitch. Leave us be. Let us survive. Let us figure out how we're going to survive here in America. If those want to join forces on that aspect and that way of thinking, our survival is more necessary than ever. If people want to go against that and say, think about somewhere else, you're useless to me. You're in our way. We need to stop. Okay. Torque, stranger, no matter where you live in the world, sound like the same environment everywhere, but more places are worse off than others. And we got to make sure that we don't get there. No boxing, says Jay-Z and Beyonce said go for Biden. People did. I don't think we went like frenzied out. Jay-Z don't have that type of power. And I don't care about Beyonce like that. Y'all need to zap out of this celebrity worship if that is the issue. I don't get it. You're worshiping made up people that's purposely distracting you, entertaining you for a time to escape your reality. That's all they're doing, masking and hypnotizing you to another reality that's not even true. It's all made up. It's all glamorized. It's all allowed for a time because they are connected with other powers that be that don't care nothing about you or I. Celebrity worship at this juncture in our life right now that's going on, y'all should be seeing and listening to Cat Williams and his interview with Shay Shay Club, Monique and what her name, Oprah's been doing, and how different celebrities are playing one another and ranting over others, prohibiting others from having work and doing all these types of things. They're not worthy of worship. We got to think for our own. We got to snip the cord of that type of thinking. Celebrity worship. I think all the people that just gossip all day about celebrities are some of the dumbest people that ever walked. But they make a lot of money, don't they? They live in their best life doing that, distracting us. All the celebrity news, I'm saying study it, learn from it, use it for your advantage if you're going to look at it. Study it for why it's bad. Don't enjoy yourself. Study it for why it's bad and then move on to other topics. Move on to other issues to talk about, think about, deal with. But celebrity gossip is shameful. Will says, President, Commander-in-Chief, corporations better study law. Okay, Will. So getting back to Dynast Amir, again, I don't think that he is the right kind of guy that should be speaking up for us and our morale. I think that he's deliberately here to make our morale worse off than what it should be, because he's not offering anything positive to talk about as a man should.
But listen to the sister saying, go home. So I was told that black folks were going to vote for Joe Biden and the Democratic Party because they was going to be able to hold Sleepy Joe accountable. How's that working out? That's what I was told. We going to hold him accountable. We going to hold
Ain't nobody said no shit like that. He's just making up shit. Ain't nobody said we going to hold him accountable if he becomes president. That don't even make sense. You're just making up shit, bitch. You're just saying any goddamn thing. You've already had a show talking about this with the vote. The so-called vote is the reason why we're in trouble with the migrants. And here you are again with the same bullshit. You're stupid.
Joe Biden accountable. How is that working out? And the thing is, she's telling this guy, go home. You can't do nothing. Well, you can't send him back home. You can't do nothing. Go home. You can't do anything. You can't send him home. You have no power. You lazy.
And you have no power anywhere else. We have no power collectively anywhere else, even worse in Africa. So he's trying to make you feel so small in America so that you'll listen to him coming up with these tours he wants to sell to y'all. Oh, we're so bad off. Let's spend $4,000 to go on a tour with Dynast. Oh, that's an idea. Oh, yeah, let me just burn $4,000 because this man makes sense. He's making sense to my dumb ass. That's how you get to people's dollars, Dynast? By shaming them to smithereens, and then they're going to fork out $4,000 after the abuse of you? Is that what you do?
And all you can do is yell, go home. And guess what? You can't send him home. He's home now. His home, listen, his new home is called Chicago. That's his new home. There's nothing you can do about it. But to do a press conference complaining.
And that's why we need to save our money from the likes of a Dynast Amir. Save your money and see what's ongoing with this crisis. Save your money in case something happens to your job. Save your money in case something happens to a family member, your car, something stolen, an injury from a migrant you're fighting with, something, anything, all things is the reason why we should be conservative more than ever. If we never learned what conservatism was, we should look and study that word more than ever now. Conserve, stop running, hunker down, get ready for all things. Get your family in the mindset of that. Get your friends in the mindset of that. Co-workers, bosses, everybody should be on the same mindset. This should spread throughout America for us to be ready for all things pertaining to these migrants. Instead of that conversation, he'd rather do this.
To Mayor Johnson. Motherfuckers, hey, you lazy. No more money for you. You lazy. No more money for you. You laughing.
If your customers don't notice you, you're missing out on sales. That's where we come in. Constant Contact is the ultimate.
Yeah, that's right. He called her lazy. Now, remember Dr. Umar Johnson was down there not so long ago, but the mayor canceled his meeting. And this is what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say.
I was at the meeting last night, emergency meeting after the mayor canceled.
Why is he playing a guy that's not even a leader, though? This is what I'm talking about. You lame-ass men support one another. You guys have no power. You're not doing nothing. For all you doing is yapping online and trying to look cute. That's all y'all do. Y'all are shameless. You're going to show a whack-ass guy that has not done anything with his school yet after all these years, 12 years in counting. You want to bring him up. This is when I talk about you lame-ass men. Y'all support one another. Y'all best friends. Y'all bitch-ass niggas. Where are the real men at? Please stand up. Stand up.
My event at the Corain Center for the Arts, we still had a powerful meeting of activists and concerned African citizens of Chicago. We're going to get into that tonight. I got to take it early.
And here we go again, talking about African citizens of Chicago, again, about our identity, y'all. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be an issue sooner than later. Go declare your own identity, get it notarized, get it ready. If you get an ID, change your identity to Indigenous Black American or something of that nature. We are American. People are trying to make us African. People are trying to unpry us from America. And this is why what's happening with the migrants, they are happy about, Pan-Africans are thrilled about. That's what they join forces on. Oh, anything to get these people to think about Africa, to visiting Africa, to going back to Africa, all the merrier. Again, we're having other migrants from around the globe coming through, including Africans, including Haitians, including Jamaicans and other Caribbeans, making their way to America, and people trying to tell us to flee and leave America, replacing us. This is what Pan-Africans love to do, and they join forces on this. O'Shea Duke Jackson now is calling himself a Pan-Africanist, and he's showing this bum-ass Pan-African right here. Dynast Amir is another bum-ass Pan-African as well. They're all the same. Lame.
Fight back. But they are literally purging us. If they take Chicago, Black America is done. If they take Chicago, Black America is done.
See, this is the problem. What's going on in Chicago was going on, I would say, east of the Rocky Mountains. Black people like me who were born and raised in California told you it was coming. Told you it was coming. But you know what I was told? Dynast, Chicago is a black city. It's a black city. Black folks run Chicago. We run DC.
Again, what is this helping? Mocking and carrying on. This is all their job is to mock, bash, accuse, mock, bash, trying to break us down mentally, y'all, and spiritually. These Pan-Africans are our enemy. I'm sorry. That's the way I see it. They have never been a blessing to us, ever. And they will never continue to be a blessing. All they're good for is you paying them something for them yapping to you, continuing to yap at you about stuff they won't even do themselves. Where is Umar Johnson? Doesn't he live in America? Why is he always talking about Africa? Where is Dynast Amir at right now? In America? Doesn't he only go visit Africa, making money off of visiting? Where is O'Shea Duke Jackson? The only one that's in Kenya, but he is a passport bro first and foremost. That's what he is. A whoremonger, ugly ass, passport bro, manosphere dude. That's what his roots is. But it's so easy to transition to Pan-African talk after being a passport bro, after being a trick ass nigga. You can quickly and easily put on the hat of Pan-Africanism and hide and shield with a dashiki who you really are. But this is what they represent, Pan-African talk.
We run Chicago. We run DC. We got power. There's black power. We run it. How's that working out now? Like I said, black people east of the Rocky Mountains just think they are a protected class.
We know we're not protected. Y'all need to respond accordingly to getting a lawyer, getting a class action suit, doing something that is worthy. You get all these followers to sit up there and abuse. That's all y'all do. You got over 200,000 followers, I think, Dynast Amir, for you to turn around and abuse and misuse. Oh, you have 115,000 is what you have. 115,000 people watch you, give or take, occasionally. And all they get when they listen to you is bashing. All y'all do every single day is bash, but you don't offer what to do for real in America. Like, you cannot be at two places at one time. You are useless to us with talking about Pan-Africanism. You're useless.
Daddy get breezy. You lazy. You lazy. You lazy. You lazy. In your black city. In your black city. You lazy. In your black city. We run Chicago. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. How's it working out now? Y'all didn't want to listen. Y'all didn't want to listen. Told you what was going to happen. But listen, you guys wanted to get rid of the orange man. How's that working out? How is getting rid of the orange man working out? Okay.
If they take Chicago, Black America is done.
Turn right.
I heard that some of the Latino gangs are recruiting migrants.
Been going on in California, but no, Chicago, a black city. This is a black city. It's been going on. It's been going on in California. See, the problem is they want you guys just to focus on white supremacy. So all they do is throw white supremacy statistics at you all day. But what they don't tell you is that the cartels, especially in California, they're infiltrating the police department, the sheriff department. Same thing's gonna happen.
So why can't you say get weapons, get ready? Learn how to shoot if you don't know how to shoot. Get your man to teach you things. Go to a gun range and have them teach you. Figure out how to make it legal. Get 2 or 3 different types of weapons when you go out. Legal weapons. Pepper spray for sure. A knife for sure. If you can get it legally, a gun as well. Why can't you talk that talk? Why can't you encourage people to prepare for the worst? Why do we have to just be vulnerable doves to be gotten? You guys are not giving us confidence. You're making us feel more victimized by your talk. It is not encouraging, it's not uplifting, it is disturbing. And this is why I don't like Pan-Africans, because again, they think they're doing us a favor, but they're showcasing how weak y'all really are.
Everywhere else. But they just want to tell you that the white supremacy is the problem. They're not giving you the full story. California, there was a study done saying that the cartels are infiltrating the sheriff department, the police department in LA. But nah, this couldn't happen to you guys everywhere else east of the Colorado Rockies because it's a black city. It's a black city. So all these black politicians, all they had to do was just tell y'all that Trump is a racist, and y'all voted him in. They didn't have to do anything else. All they had to say was Trump is a racist and a white supremacist, and y'all voted him in, voted him out, and put Sleepy Joe in.
Let me see what you guys are saying. Take a break from that. What's up to Ados? Invented country, rock, hip hop, gospel. Or, how are you doing? Let me go back up some more. Rap, pop culture has ruined the black community. It most certainly hasn't helped. That's why I suggest that we play old school, jazz, gospel, house music, old school. Go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s, incorporate that in your mind and let your family hear that, enjoy that type of music that was wholesome before it changed. Bring it back or encourage people to do those type of songs again. I don't support him. Hell no. I heard that. I don't support Biden either. Facts, Michael. Thank you for coming through. You said the real ones are not on YouTube, but they need to start being possibly on YouTube because we need our morality brought up to a level and we need our strength of numbers brought up to an understanding that we're not getting. We're confused right now. Happy V-Day, mods. Thank you, Josh. Yes, happy Valentine's Day. I forgot. Easy Acts for Black. Did you get the message I sent you with contacts? No, I haven't. Comment on one of my videos and I'll re-give you the email, okay? I don't think, I'll check and let you know, but comment, I'll let you know. I don't think I got it. Ados Invented says, Black Americans won't sue for libel and defamation. I would. We should be suing. We should be doing the same thing other groups of people are doing. If there is a lawyer that wants to take on a class action suit, please let yourself be known. Let us check your credentials and what you do and where you are. And if you want to start being this, rallying for our rights, for real, let us know. There seems to be a cookie cutter of only a few lawyers that only do certain cases, police brutality cases and whatnot. They steer clear of a class action suit. They steer clear of us getting our rights or a hate bill passed, our protection as citizens to be recognized for real. No one wants to stand up to the plate. If there are anyone that's out there, please let yourself be known because I know we need you. It's just that I don't know where to go myself personally. You said calling you anything without your consent is crazy. These Africans better go home. That's what I'm saying. Like, leave us alone. People are just trying to come over here and trying to just force us into being something else all of a sudden. I don't care what an ancestor may have been back when. We're mixed up people now. We're not one thing. Get over yourself. That's what I'm saying. They don't want to understand that we've been here for too many years to change. We are American. And for the ones that feel like you need to change, then go. Please hurry so that we can know who's left, so we can deal with their mentality and their spirit. Please leave. Make it easier on us. Stop being in our faces talking about Africa all the damn time. That's why we're weak right now, because too many voices with too many different stories talking at us, confusing our mind and our spirit, making us null and voided, sitting still, stagnatedly in the same position, listening to the ruckus. You said, I will sue, period. That's what we need to do. And Easy X, yes, they're fear-mongering. That's what Pan-Africans keep doing. But if you're going to fear-monger us, fear-monger the migrants coming over here. Fear-monger the Africans and all the other blacks that come over here. The foreign blacks that come over here. You don't got no words for them. You just want us to go. That's your goal, to try to get us to go. You don't share in the same type of intensity talking about them not needing to go here, stay where they're at, fight for their rights over there, sacrifice themselves over there. No, you don't see no qualms or problems with them coming over here replacing us and making us the fault of that. You said, I keep saying we need to go to war with these panties and get them deported. They need to just go. Like I said, if we didn't give them power, if we stop supporting them, giving them donations, stop going to these tour guide travels, stop supporting speeches by Umar, they would dry up. They would have to change their tune. But people keep supporting lame-ass men. Since when has men talking without doing anything alongside of talking helped us ever? Everybody in times past that did something for us, civil rights and otherwise, were making moves, talking to presidents, talking to state generals, or talking to vice presidents or whomever to get different things drafted, working on an amendment, working on a bill. Where is this activity going on with us right now? Everybody else is moving but us. In that same capacity, all other foreign blacks are moving with the migration situation to come over here. We are trying to join forces with people trying to replace us over here. We don't have no circulation of anything going on right now among us for Black Americans. It is as if we forgot what it is to do. But we don't have the proper people with the proper voice speaking up. They're just speaking at us about not being here in America, not staying as Americans. They are attacking us in our identity right now. This issue is not going to get any better. Sheena says, I can't stand Dynast. I can't stand no Pan-African. I don't care who you are. If you're a Pan-African, there's something wrong with you, in my opinion. Ados invented the burner is legal in all states by Under Armour. The burner. Okay. It's legal in all states by Under Armour. Listen to that. You guys can check that out. White supremacy, and he's talking about Black supremacy. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the other side of the coin. Exactly. I wouldn't trust any Black attorneys, lawyers. Unfortunately, we need to seek out a white or Jewish one. You're right about that. You ain't never lied. We need a white one. I wouldn't trust a Black one because they will go all the way in and then switch up on you. They could be bought behind the scenes. We got to get somebody with integrity, whoever you are. I'm not so locked in on it having to be a Black attorney. It has to be the right attorney. It has to be the one with the right heart, the right conviction, the right spirit, correcting the woes of America, setting what needs to be set in play. Whoever you are, reach out to me. Let me see what you are and see what we can do as a class action suit or something. Speak on, YouTube about your aspirations to work with us for our claim to be realized. We need our claim to be realized, y'all. Right now, there ain't no claim at all. It's just a lot of bickering and talking going on among us. But nobody's really doing anything but just murmuring, mocking, laughing, antagonizing, accusing, insulting, belittling. That's all we keep hearing. We don't have nothing else going on for ourselves for real off of YouTube. except for those identities that people are claiming on YouTube, nice and stowed away on YouTube, not going nowhere else, not being heard hardly anywhere else, but shut down when you try, because we don't have the proper representation. We don't have the right people with the right credentials to do and move as they should. We're way behind the ball, y'all. Let me see. ADOS and Bennett says, you're right, for Black. Thank you. Hi, Lynn. How you doing? And ADOS and Bennett says the burner. Okay, I read that. Oh, it said the burner is a powerful pellet type, pew pew, that will put you down. Oh, okay. The burner. The burner. Okay. I'm going to look into that. BURNA is a powerful pellet type for those that want to look into that. Thanks for that, ADOS and Bennett. Every little bit helps. I really appreciate that, because we need somebody to stand up and say something other than just blaming us and accusing us of everything that comes to mind.
I heard that the migrants are being armed with weapons. I heard that the migrants are being set up to vote in next year's presidential election, although they are not citizens. The corrupt Chicago electoral process will allow the migrants to vote next November. The migrants are getting food, clothing, shelter, childcare, while hundreds of thousands of Black Chicagoans are struggling. They're using your tax dollars to finance people who don't like you. They're using your tax dollars to finance people who don't like you.
And not only is the migrant crisis affecting Chicago, it's affecting other places, like its smaller towns and suburbs like the village of Dalton, which has a mayor by the name of Tiffany Hinger. We'll get to her another day. Here is Trustee Belcher complaining about the migrant crisis affecting her in the city of Dalton.
As everyone knows and has seen what's going on with migrants coming to different communities and kind of like taking over in so many words. Right now, I just feel that the village of Dalton, we don't have the resources for the migrants. We don't have locations. We definitely don't have the public safety as reference to police to man type of individuals that may come in, not to stereotype anyone, but individuals that may come in and we can't control the narrative or the situation. With the unscheduled buses, as other South suburban communities have done, they were giving the buses fines if they were dropping them off or making them leave. Now, I don't know, and I guess that's why it's for discussion. We have to look into how are they fined, what the fine is, and if a bus does come to drop off, how do we regulate them leaving with just by our ordinances? So it has been biased through a lot of different communities. We just don't have the resources. I know a lot of people that they need homes, they need shelter, they need things that some of us need also. Well, we don't have the resources as a community right now, especially with our financial situation also, to put that burden on the community. So if we can just start implementing some type of regulations to stop the buses, then we can start putting in place so we don't have more squatters than we already have in those type of issues.
Now, with so much money being spent in Chicago on migrants, well, the question is, what about the citizens of Chicago? What about their needs? Even in Dalton, Illinois, which is a poor city, it's a village outside of Chicago. There are people who have needs and desires that are not being met, and migrants are occupying the spaces of African Americans' homes and shelters. Because you have to remember, Dalton is like 90% African American. And this is not a diss video towards migrants or immigrants. But the reality is that, well, if it was the opposite way around, would African American migrants be able to be on the streets in those countries? I'd probably say hell no. It wouldn't go that way around. And then, there's a rally call where migrants are asking for more resources and you have politicians signing this bill. I know it sounds crazy, but check this out.
Dozens of people rallied in Chicago today for a solution to the city's migrant crisis. The Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights held its annual summit in Pilsen. There, community groups, activists, and labor unions joined together, calling for solidarity and support for migrants.
Again, where are our speakers speaking up at these places for real? Where is our representation at? Dynast Amir could have been, but he's too whack and weak to do so. He needs to hide behind the Africa talk. He has to hide behind that. He can't stand up and be a real man. He needs to feed off of us just like all other Pan-Africans feed off of us. They feed off of us, tell us to throw money at them and at Africa and not trip off of what's going on in America. Forget about it. It's over. It's finished. It's done. Let them tell it. It's over. It's finished. It is done. But one of the things that should be alarming us, like Dynast did say, there in Chicago is there's a law that's enabling migrants to become police officers. Now, that's very alarming because they could very well be a part of the cartel and gangs and all these things. We got to get ready, y'all.
Passed through the state, house, and Senate, basically saying that non-U.S. citizens, immigrants, can become police officers and deputies, even though on the federal level it says that they need to be U.S. citizens. But the bill is saying, well, since they are already in healthcare and in the military, they should be able to become police officers too. But my thing is this: we know how the immigrants feel about Black people, specifically coming from places like Mexico. So can you imagine them being police officers or overseers? Because that's what police officers are to Black people here in America. So I don't see that working out well. What about y'all? House bill.
So that's a real reality. That's a real reality that we are dealing with right now. And we got to get ready. We're so vulnerable right now, uncovered right now. It's pathetic. We don't have real representation. We have people just talking at us and accusing us and wagging fingers at us and talking shit to us. We don't have any man, real man, that has real balls, that's willing to set it off, that's really to do right by us. That's why I'm asking for any representation that's really legit, that would fight for us. Let yourself be known, please, whomever you are.
A number of elected officials pledged their own support for the coalition's policy platform, which includes calls for immigrant health care and more funding for community services.
Well, who do we have to blame for this? Unfortunately, ourselves.
I agree, okay. I agree with that.
The year is 2008, and there is a young...
Newsflash, you don't need IT certification to earn six figures. I know you've been told it.
In my first year as an owner-operator, I grossed over $200,000. Of that, I paid...
Man, or a young man, running for the presidency of the United States. He's running against Senator John McCain. I believe we all know who this young man became. Senator Barack Obama, who then became President Barack Obama. Now, my mother at the time told me, hey, you need to get out and vote. It's the first time I've ever voted. And I was like, well, who do I vote for? Well, when you get to the ballot, vote Democrat down the line. Don't vote for anybody who's Republican. Just vote Democrat. Okay, so I go into the voting booth, and I did just that. I voted for Barack Obama. I voted for whoever else was there, and I just voted down the line. Now, I was excited when the guy got into office because many young people, such as myself at the time, went out and voted for him. But, oh, yeah, you know, I didn't know what his agenda was. And he didn't need to have an agenda for me to vote for him because...
And nobody tells us their real agenda. You could say whatever you want to say and get in. But Biden never gave us any inkling of any hope. He never said anything that was hopeful, that was encouraging, that let us know that he had our back. Only Trump did. And we got to now suffer the consequence of these things happening to us. Not just by us, by the ones that did vote. Others voted for Biden as well. I still think it was rigged. I still believe it was rigged. I'm sorry. And I believe, again, the powers that be, the one world order, I'm sure you guys have heard of that, is all in sync with this reality that we're facing right now. We could have never known that this was going to take effect, but it's happening right now. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to really just act like we have no way of figuring out what to do, and we're just going to just murmur and argue and blame among ourselves until we're just done? Until we just don't have an option but to be treated like slaves? Is that what we're waiting for? I really hope that you guys think about that, because it's looking really bad right now.
As long as you're Democrat, just vote for them. The question is, what have black people gotten for their votes? And here's what typically happens. We're going to get upset. We're going to get pissed off. We're going to complain about migrants. We're going to complain about budget cuts. We're going to complain about our police staff not having the funding to do things. And then the next election, yeah, you got it. We're going to vote down the line Democrat. And that is the problem with us as a community.
And that's what I'm saying. I won't believe, like, all this complaining is just complaining. I won't believe it until the elections come November to see what black folks actually do.
We don't have respect for ourselves. So then nobody should have that respect for you. If you're a person that doesn't respect yourself, why would I care about respecting you? So the migrants, if they're going to come in and take your resources, well, you voted for it. You said it was okay, and there's even a video of Joe Biden saying that immigration was...
Again, we are not to blame for this as a whole. This was going to happen whether we liked it or not, just like the COVID-19 happened. No one foreseen that happening. And just like the migrant crisis is happening, just like that, it just came from nowhere. But we're somehow being blamed by Pan-Africans, by bitch-ass niggas and lamos that won't do nothing else but collect our money for an ideology that's never, ever worked over 100 years ago. But this is our representation, that we have lame-ass men talking at us, talking down on us, disrespecting us, and they think they're doing us a service. They're not doing us a service.
One concern for him, and we voted, and he definitely has shown getting immigrants into the country is the number one concern. Why? Because Democrats need new voters who will be loyal to them. So as many immigrants that they can make, citizens that will become loyal to their party, that's what they're going to do. At the downfall of U.S. citizens.
Now, what could happen is just like what's happening in Texas. Texas is not to be played with. They're fighting back. We need to have leadership like what's happening in Texas, and real men that stand up like what's happening in Texas.
Governor Greg Abbott writing on social media today, cartels are learning not to mess with Texas amid Operation Lone Star, highlighting some numbers showing a drop in the number of migrant encounters in Texas, while there's an increase in parts of Arizona and California. Joining us now is our very own Ryan Chandler to give us a little insight. Okay, so you are going to break down the numbers. What are we seeing?
We're seeing dramatic decreases across the board. When you compare December to January, we saw about 300,000 migrant encounters in December. That dropped to just 176 in January. So numbers down across every state, but especially in Texas. There's really eye-popping numbers in the Del Rio sector. That's what you're looking at right there. This is the Eagle Pass area that has become the center of Operation Lone Star. And we see that in December, Eagle Pass Border Patrol agents were encountering about 2,300 migrants a day. Last month, that was down to just as low as 200 sometimes. El Paso is also down 51% in the last 3 months of last year compared to the same period in 2022. Laredo's down 42%, RGV down 18%. Meanwhile, we're seeing that all those people are going to Arizona and California. We see huge spikes there. They're shouldering about 60% of the migrant encounters nowadays.
Okay, so after seeing record migration, though, Ryan, why are we seeing this steep drop?
Well, Governor Abbott credits it to Operation Lone Star. He will characterize this as cartels not wanting to come to the increased enforcement that we have on our Texas borders. Other officials will give you different answers. And to be sure, it's very difficult to put one explanation to these very complex migration trends. It could be seasonal. The White House actually points to progress they made with the Mexican government after a December meeting. They got Mexico to increase their own enforcement, and they're actually making it harder for migrants to travel through Mexico to the U.S. border. So the likely truth is somewhere in the middle. It's a combination of a bunch of factors, and these things go up and down. I'm sure we'll see them go up again sometime soon too.
Okay, so even with migration down, we know the politics really surrounding the border. As you know, you covered extensively. It's really heating up. So another major battle with the federal government is happening this week.
We're seeing another court showdown between Texas and the United States in court this Thursday over Senate Bill 4. That's the novel new law that gives Texas broad authority to enforce federal immigration law on our own. This is very controversial because federal immigration law is just that, federal law, and state troopers, local police have no right or business to enforce it themselves. That's what the federal government is arguing. But this would give Texas troopers the ability to arrest and effectively deport any migrants that come into Texas without having to deal with Border Patrol at all. Governor Abbott says we need to do that because Border Patrol is not doing their job. But the Biden administration is saying this is messing with our business and you're stepping on our toes here. So we're going to see the first real challenge to that in court. Some civil rights groups are suing the state, worrying that could harm some migrants' rights and overstep federal authority. We'll see.
So there's civil rights for migrants, but no civil rights for Black Americans. You see what I'm saying? Where are our representations? Where are our lawyers? Where are our advocates? Where are people speaking for us besides being simply on YouTube? I am one person. I have no degree. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a state attorney. Anyways, we don't have proper representation. Where are our representation at? Where are our voices? They have gone away only to YouTube. This is why I don't trust Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell. Yvette Carnell knows enough a little bit about the Congress. She used to work at the Capitol Hill. Why ain't she doing stuff for real? I think that these are shills sent by the Democrats to pose as helpers for us, because we still stay on YouTube only. And everybody else is off YouTube getting legislation passed, bills passed, amendments done, voting rights, this and that. Can be a police officer now? Having all this money given to them through their representation of civil rights. They used our logo, civil rights, and now took it away from us and now have springboard off of our civil rights to come for us. And this is what we should be upset about. But instead of focusing on the right thing and how we've been maneuvered and manipulated by the Democrats, we already got the memo. The Democrats are our enemies. They need to go for real. They're destroying America. All white Americans should see this, including us. Including anyone that's claiming to be American, that cares about this country. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah, where is the school? Lynn says. Yeah, Umar Johnson got some explaining to do, but the only explaining he does is talking shit to us. Michael Ferguson says, I don't support being a victim like these men, but the self-hate is at an all-time high. Shaking my head. Self-hate of what? I like myself. I love myself. I am an American. Claiming to be an American is not self-hate. 10 years ago, this wasn't even an issue. Now it's an issue. 10 years ago, I was an American. It was not an issue. But now, Michael Ferguson, is an issue? Is that what you mean? What are you talking about? Can you please say more about what you mean? Lynn M says, everyone is eating off of Black Americans. That's why they are so focused on us. Yes, they are. they are treating us as if we're prey, a caucus that's already dying or died, and they're feeding off of us like vultures. That's exactly what's happening to us right now. And ADOS and Bennett says, YW, I don't know what that means. Lynn M says they're having to put Trump in prison or make it where he can't run. That's what they're working on fervently right now. What is Trump supposed to do for blacks? Get rid of the migrants and also help us out monetarily like he claimed he would? Like he claimed he would, Michael. At least we had somebody claiming something. We didn't have anybody claiming nothing with Biden. He guaranteed us nothing. Biden is destroying and gutting out America, in my opinion. Easy Access, we didn't vote for this. That's BS. Exactly, we didn't vote for that. They just blamed us. ADOS and Bennett says also there's a guy named Delete Laws. He has cars and a trifold to help you if you are stopped by the cops. He plans to run for governor, I believe. He shows step by step how to plead your rights. Is that right? Delete is his name? Delete Laws? DELETE, last spelling Laws, LAWZ. Is that right? What's up, Vev5 Erudition 3? Thank you for coming back. Lynn says Trump will close the borders and mass deportation. Facts. He has Trump platinum plan for Black Americans. Is either Trump or don't vote. He might not be able to have it to where he had it before because of all the looting that has already happened to our government. So realistically, I don't think he can do a platinum plan. He might be able to get away with doing a bronze plan, something that is at least keeping us on alive. I don't think it's going to be the platinum plan though, because of all the money. Think about all the wars, all the money going towards Israel, going towards Ukraine, going towards these migrants. What will we have left? He can't come in and spend that much more. Yeah, the Democrats are snakes. ADOS says you would think Tyreek would at least open a martial arts place for Black children or a gun range, bow and arrow. He opened a Pan-African juke joint museum. Yeah, playing it off like it's about us. I'm a Michael Ferguson's I feel you, sister, and no, I meant us hating and tearing each other down. Yeah, that okay. Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate that. Hello, Clara. Clara says, hi, remember me? Yes, I remember seeing you. Thank you for coming back. Nate says, hello. Daniel Larson says, Joe Biden is the future. Wow. Mary Walker says, why bring and put out migrants? They came here illegally, Mary. We didn't, well, they should have known better. They came here illegally. Joe Mama. Okay. ADOS says, yes, ma'am. Daniel Larson says, yes. Says Donald Trump is too old. Well, that's why he needs to get a good running mate with him, just in case. I see that he has all his mind, though, about him still. Look at Biden in comparison. Michael says, just so you know, I'm glad you went live because we need to discuss our problems amongst each other and figure out a way to solve them. Waiting on a savior ain't going to help us. I'm trying to the best of my ability. Let's go back to this clown. Hold on.
Those are their party. That's what they're going to do. At the downfall of U.S. citizens, primarily African-American citizens. Here's the skinny on this. As a Black community based in America, here's the great time that we should take part in getting to one, know each other, getting in two, to connect with each other, getting in three, learning how to do things and build business together, and to understand what our political agendas are. It's a great time to find out how to do that. There's no better time than now. And this is the time that we want to start learning how to respect each other, how to do business with each other. And I would say, have better connections. For some of you who would like to do it, everybody's not that, keen on it, but have relationships with all of the people in the Black world. This is our opportunity right now. We cannot miss it.
Hey guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and have the conversation, please click on the link. Again, if you want to call in and have the conversation, please click on the link. Link is in the chat room.
out on this chance to unite as much as possible, especially the African American community, because we see what the plan is. And guys, we're going to be wiped out. The way that the Democrats are looking at us, they want us out of there completely. We will completely be replaced by everybody else. And unfortunately, you're going to suffer. I'm going to suffer. Our kids will suffer. And that's not what we want, guys. So, guys, what do you think of Shawasha Jackson? Back at it again. Little episode of Chingana. Fair use. Wow.
Casanova, go ahead, bro.
For the ones ensuring the job always gets done, and the ones wearing many hats, Granger professional.
Use. Wow.
Casanova, go ahead, bro.
What's up, Dynast? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm well, thanks for asking. And y'all are spot on. Back in 2019, I had to stand on the corner of 71st and Jeffrey out here in Chicago, South Shore neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
There was it looked like a makeshift group. I don't know who it is. They call themselves the Revolution. And they hit a white man with blue eyes, bro. Hispanics, and they out there like, hey, look at what they're doing to people on the border. I'm like, wait, what the revolution? Come on. Didn't Jill Scott say revolution would be televised? I started going off on them like, get the hell from off this corner with this bullshit, man. Do you know who opposed me? Black men were out there. They was right with me. Black men like, yep. Women, you making the block hot. You making the blacks hot. Like what? Like I really had. I ain't say anything to him. Like you ain't my fight. Every man out there, they nod their head like, yeah, It's the black women. You's making the block hot and feel like they gotta.
Oh, listen, man. We need to listen. We're black men allowed it.
True.
Black men allowed it.
I agree, bro.
So we gotta we gotta stop pointing the finger at our sisters, man. Because black men.
I'm not, bro. I'm not.
We allow it.
Look at the video that you showed with the lady who was speaking. Do you see those big goofy niggas on the side of her, bro? I'm not blaming our sisters, bro. Mm-hmm. You see them big goofy niggas on the side of her not saying nothing, they just nod their head. Why one of y'all ain't up there speaking? Why is she up there talking? So trust me, I'm not blaming our sisters. I'm blaming these niggas too. Because it was a few black dudes out there in the green. But where was most of the black dudes in the neighborhood? You know?
Yes, sir. Chilling and watching. Go ahead, Theo. Theo, you gotta mute yourself. Theo. Guys, leave to the shower.
My bad. Good evening. How you doing?
All good, man. Go ahead.
Hey, so I have a little bit of a different opinion. For one, because it when I hear Dr. Umar, right, it's hard to empathize with the way he sets up his perspective, because it sounds reminiscent of how racist white folks felt about black folks, right? That protection, you know, if you listen to what they were concerned about, you know, whether it be the Ku Klux Klan, just students, young folks who were boycotting or just, you know, felt like they were struggling against black folks taking their jobs, black folks ruining their neighborhoods. And I get that we were here. It's a bit of a difference because we weren't immigrants in the same sense. We were here, but they were trying to protect their segment. That's how they felt, right? They were trying to protect their segment of America from black folks. So it's almost the same. It sounds the same way, right? We're trying to protect a segment of the earth from a group of people, right? And it just doesn't sit well. And I know that, you know,
we're trying to survive. We need to think about survival. I don't know what he's talking about right here.
Because of the capacity of the country as it stands, it does cause issues when you have an influx of people and you have
you don't have the capacity to handle those people. But I think the solution to that is development. I think America has a lot of room for development. So whereas we look at what they're coming here to from us, right? That's a mindset that can be broken, right? We should be looking at what they could be coming here to help us build, because there's plenty of room for development in America. But when you have a mindset not of development, right, of just occupying space that is developed versus, because if you look at how, and this is not a criticism, but a critique. When you look at how Black folks, right, have moved, and not all, it hasn't been in a way of like, moving to new frontiers. It's always been occupying already developed areas, right?
Yeah, but we built this country. We built this country.
Yeah, I know, right?
I ain't going to Africa, man. I ain't going over there, man. Hey, I saw on TV.
Again, here we go with the African talk. Before we even go there, I want to hear what you guys have to say. You said, I love Black people. They are pretty kind. Clara often says, thank you for that. Not all, but there's some. There's a lot more than they show, that's for sure. Gabe Itches supports Donald, Nate says. Len M says, Biden is old and doesn't seem to know where he is most of the time. He can't speak. He's falling down all the time. He is not fit for president. No, he's not. Easy X says, honestly, I don't like Trump and don't want to vote for him. Both of them are trash, white trash men, but which will be better for what the Black community is facing? Trump, he's the only one with the American mindset. Biden has the mindset of open borders, anything goes, wild, wild west. He is being reckless and careless right now. We cannot allow that to continue. America will not be recognizable if this continues. There's so many different changes that's going to happen as a result of having these migrants here after all. In the meanwhile, and we just got to be able to cope somehow and fight back. That's why we need representation. We don't have proper representation right now. Two sides of the same evil. Well, they're not solely looking out for Black people, that's for sure. Especially Biden. Biden dislikes, I believe, Black people. I think that Trump tolerates Black people. I don't think that he has a fondness for us, but I don't think he hates us. I think that Biden hates Black people. I think that he's showing his ass off right now. And I want him gone from the office. Clara Afton says, I'm from Saudi Arabia. I don't know what's happening. Oh, okay. Can someone explain? Well, you have to rewind the video and then you can get caught up to speed. One circle, one big circle, UK Bam says, yes, it is. Lynn M says, Pan-Africanism and Manosphere working together hand in hand. Yes. Also says, I believe Pan-Africanism and Manosphere men are weak men. Yes, they are. And they're working for what white supremacists are ultimately trying to sell us, which is this go back to Africa, which is this American colonization society. They're bringing it back up again, working for them to uproot us and confuse us and torment us and not be a benefit to us whatsoever. But they want our money, though, towards donations. They want our money towards visiting. They want our money towards believing and supporting their news and their talk towards and against us. Anything to tear us down, they support. They have not offered anything, one concrete thing to say for protection and rallying us to do better and be better and get the right appropriate weapons and whatnot to do, or how to be in this time and age. They're not offering no leadership in this. They're just murmuring and in the crowd heckling us is what they're doing. It's unfortunate that this is what we got going on. You said, Clara often says, okay, first, Michael says, I do agree with you on that to Lynn, that Pan-Africanism and manosphere men are weak men. They are. Why some people would hate black people, and I'm white and my older brother is black. Clara, after you got some explaining to do, how is your older brother black? He got adopted? Enos Honey says they're illegal. That's not the same. Exactly. If they came here legally and they went through a process to not overwhelm the system here, that's a different story. I'm not saying that the ones that are legally here shouldn't be here. The ones that are illegally here are over, they're bum rushing. They are infiltrating. They are overwhelming the system. They're overwhelming the realities of what is. And this is not a benefit to us. It's not a blessing to us. So they have sad stories they come with, but what about our sad stories? Becoming more and more homeless, not able to afford the rent, being forced to downsize, being forced to move to another city or another state or even another country, being spoofed to try different things in other areas of the globe, and then finding your doom, or finding calamities, or finding yourself being robbed or killed or whatever. All these different things, we're being ran out. No man that's a Black American man as a unit collectively is standing up and saying, we're not taking this no more. Everybody's finding a way to hide and find escapism, dreaming of other places to go and relating to other people as if we don't have a fight on our hands right now. These other foreign blacks that's coming to America are not thinking about unifying with us. They're thinking about replacing us, being here instead of us. But yet we want to talk about Pan-Africanism. It doesn't make sense. We are all humans after all. Yeah, we're all humans after all, but they were humans over there in Venezuela, in Mexico, in China, in India, wherever they came from. They were humans over there too. They're still humans over there. They're overrunning our system. Verb 5 says, you are wrong, bro. Outlaw Josie Wells, Trump 2024, exactly. Absolutely, Clarina says. Outlaw Josie Wells says, I don't judge a person by the color of their skin. I judge them by the content of their character. That's the best way to be. Clara says, thank you. Bev 5 says, the thing is, the country's not just going down for one race over the other. Everybody lose. Everybody's losing. That's the truth. Easy Access Black American come together as one cohesive group would help us out and solve a lot of our issues rather than going to Africa. That's what we got to do, because, again, we are left uncovered. We are not protected. We are not saved right now. We're being ransacked right now. We're being overran right now. We're being squeezed out, snuffed out on purpose. And nobody's feeling some kind of way. No righteous anger is being had. Just mockery from men. This is how these men lead, by mocking. And we wonder why we can't trust these men and deal with these types of men, because they're not real leaders. ADOS in Bennett says, most Black Americans and white America are friends where I come from. We realize much of the racist talk is by Africans and Caribbean. A lot of that is trying to get us stirred crazy while they replace us. And that's what's going on right now. While they tell us to go to Africa, they're happily in America. Talking to us online, talking shit about why won't we go to Africa? So many different Africans that have an issue about us staying in America or in America. Make it make sense. Or in the UK, or in Canada, or everywhere else but Africa. But they're talking at us solely. You Black Americans, why can't you go to Africa? Because we don't want to, and we never been there. We don't want to go. What's your excuse? You're from there. Why won't you go? Then the conversation stops. Carter says, yo, what's up? What's being talked about here? You have to rewind the video. Outlaw says FJB. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Outlaw Josie. Michael says, that's a small amount of money compared to the money we give back to whites and other nations rather than putting it back on our community. Yeah, the money is being forked out to so many other places than our own community. But we're supposed to feel bad if we get money, while everybody else never earned money, but they got the money. They got billions upon billions of dollars. Israel, what they do for America? What did Ukraine do for America? What did Afghanistan do for America? What are illegal immigrants doing now to America? Where is this blessing at? What have they done to help us somewhere at? As a collection of Americans, all of us. Where is the benefit? All we are is being depleted right before our eyes. Free Palestine, okay. No Palestine. That war right there, I have nothing to do with it. I'm in America. I'm an American. Sorry. True, we need to know who is in our home. Yeah, we don't even know who these people are. America first. Facts. Jesse Peters. I don't know about that. Who is Jesse Peters? Or you mean Peterson? I hope he's a different guy from the one I'm thinking about. Verve 5 says, I'm more than just the skin I'm in. Exactly. Mr. Slowdown says, if you may, what are some solutions you suggest the U.S. government can do to better the situation? Stop the immigration. Deport some of them back. They're illegal. Make it harder for them to come over here. Control. Yes, control what is going on. Nip it in the bud. Do something. Why are we allowing these elements of migrants to now be emboldened with crime? Robbery and killing and beating up officers, beating up civilians. Did we reckon for that, y'all? Are we deserving of that? Can't that be curbed? Can't that be discouraged? Get ready. Outlaw says, I'm white. Okay. Block C. Jamsto. I don't know who that is. You have to keep talking. Jen says, yes, should be same rule of everyone. Clara says, I have to go have an exam. Wish me luck. Wish you luck. Go ahead. I hope that you get an A on your exam, Clara. Michael Ferguson says, well, the government could treat us blacks as humans and address the problem in our communities, but we know that will never happen. We gotta address some of the problems that we have too, as far as what we watch, what we listen to, what we believe in, what we prioritize, stopping all the things that is toxic to us as a family, as individuals, would be helpful to get serious about what's going on to us right now and then come together on some cause against what's happening to us. That would be helpful. And think in terms of, you are an American. This is what you have to deal with in America. You cannot make yourself over in the middle of trying to survive. It does not work. It cancels yourself out. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you weak. It makes you stagnant. It makes you dumb. It makes you a risk to yourself and to your community, because you're not able to act on your own accord. What is Africa doing for America? Nothing. Exactly. We Americans don't have anything to do with Palestine. I mean, I feel sorry that war is going on, but I don't have nothing to do with what happens over there and why it's happening. That is a long history battle that's been going on. And we didn't start that. We don't know nothing about nothing. 54 countries everyone's a slave nowadays. So it appears. Below zero, French bleeding Africa. That's what Africans got to worry about in their presidents. Zen says, we Americans have our own problems. We don't need to be a lapdog for Ukraine and Israel. Exactly. But all that money, y'all, will be suffering behind that. We'll be suffering behind them just giving money away to people that is not deserving of our money. And we didn't have nothing to do with it. It just happened on Biden's watch.
The roads are bad. The roads are
bad. Right. Yeah, and then see, looking at that mentality, right? It's like, you know, the roads are bad. I mean, if you're not thinking of like utilizing your energy and time to develop and fix and repair and construct, reconstruct, refurbish, I mean, all you'll be doing is looking to occupy spaces that other people have already developed. And if they haven't developed them, then you're gonna, you know, just go.
So his suggestion is for us to go somewhere that's not developed and start all over again. He wants us to go to the wilderness, to be in the wilderness and see how that fares out for us. This is the mentality of Pan-Africans. Go to the wilderness and start all over again. Take your chances in your lot over there in Africa, where all Africans are trying to flee from. You take your chances over there, though. This is what they suggest for us.
To some corner of it's I don't know, man. I guess what I'm trying to articulate is, it seems that black folks, and not only black folks, but I'm just talking about black folks right now, aren't developing much, right? I'm not saying at all, but
no, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. You're
right. So when you don't have development, right? So the folks who thinking about building, they don't have a problem with the immigrants, because what? Guess what? They're gonna team up with them. That's labor, right? They're thinking about development. That's folks that can come in and help them develop. But when you don't have development, right, in your thought process, right, you're not thinking of employing people because you're not doing anything to employ people for. You're just thinking about being employed. You're just thinking about, you know, utilizing infrastructure that is available, you know, right? You know, just trying to squeeze into the space, or waiting for, you know, white folks to move out so you can move in. Historically, you know, and again, it's just a bit of a critique. It just seems like, and even if you look at, I'm gonna jump across the pond, as they say, even if you look at like when decolonization happened, right? You have all these people who, instead of developing outwardly, they all just went into the city and tried to occupy those spaces that were built by the colonialists, right? And they just overcrowded.
But it's okay for the migrants to come and enjoy the infrastructure that we helped build. That's the logic of Pan-Africans. It's better for the migrants and the immigrants that did not build to come over here and enjoy the labor of your ancestors. No, we need to let it be known that we are here and that we should not be ignored. Again, this money that's being used for migrants is being taken out of the mouths of Americans, all Americans.
Meanwhile, new data shines a light on just how much Chicago has been spending to support the migrant mission so far. Just over 13,000 asylum seekers are living in city shelters.
The city says they are preparing for a spike, though it's not clear how they pay for it. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza is live for us in the newsroom trying to sort it all out. Sabrina?
Joe, if it feels confusing tracking the spending, the amount of money the city has spent, the state has given, how much the federal government has contributed, that's because it is. The city has been trying to save money where it can, but right now they just can't get those numbers to add.
We're currently, actually every day, we're in meetings, on calls with the state and with the county.
In a migrant briefing this week,
to figure out what the long-term plan is to get through the calendar year together.
City leaders were asked once again about their plans to pay for the migrant crisis once the money runs out. New numbers show the city has spent a total of $194.5 million on migrant-related vendors since October of 2022. That doesn't include the cost of city agencies and their work on the migrant mission, like how much it's costing to educate school-aged new arrivals. Of those vendors, though, the Kansas-based company, Favored Healthcare Staffing,
continues to be the highest paid, making $126 million since the mission started. The cost paid mostly by the state, the remainder split between the city and federal government. A few days ago, the city amended their contract with Favored Staffing for a second time. Now their contract is for approximately $150 million over the course of 1 year. Notable because in the city's budget, $150 million is the same number allocated for the entire fiscal year. The city is hoping the state continues to pay and the federal government will step in. Governor Pritzker has said he plans to put about 2,000 beds somewhere, though it's still not clear where that will be or when it'll happen.
Would that be one of the things that we're looking at to help alleviate how much the city is spending? We're currently in discussions about how they might be able to apply that, whether it is standing up a new shelter inside or outside of Chicago, or if it's taking over the costs of shelters in Chicago.
Now, the city estimates it's been able to cut food costs down by using new vendors from around $22 a day to about $16 a day per person. Again, this is just a drop in the bucket with no answer about a long-term solution yet. In the newsroom, Sabrina.
Again, just like Anja Africa asked the question, are you a hoe or are you an empath?
Your attraction to them until you were in their presence and you got to feel all of the low vibration emotions that were coming from that sacral chakra that they want to act on. You will be acting on those emotions. So stay away from people that are low frequency. Stay away from people that are not productive to your journey. And definitely don't act on sacral energy that is coming from that base carnal knowledge. Greetings, family. I just had a thought. Are you a hoe or are you an empath with untapped ability?
Pan-Africans are hoes. They're not pathetic of what's going on with Americans. They only think about their dingly, their diggly, whatever you call it, penis, tingly. They don't have any suggestions for our future here in America. They want us to believe that we're done here in America and become hoes like them, prostitutes like them for Pan-Africanism. They're not empathetic to the cause of what's happening to us in America. They're in our way, talking shit every chance they get against us. But at the same time, asking for donations and expecting us to support them in their rhetoric against us. Us accepting abuse by these types of people, while they're not offering any real leadership in what we should do, how we should move, how we should be. They say run. They say throw money at Africa. They say throw money at them. Be hoes like them. Be not empathetic to your situation and what's going on with you. This is what we got going on. These types of people are talking the loudest and the longest. Real men that's doing the right thing for their family, protecting their house, protecting themselves when they go out and about, telling their mom and telling their sisters and their aunts and cousins to get ready, to learn how to shoot, to learn how to fight, to take up courses in self-defense or other things that you're supposed to know to do. In times like this, we're not being supported in thinking like that or trying to get on that wavelength like that. We're being told that we're going to be victims and we're getting squeezed out. And this is all we have to look forward to unless we look to Africa. Unless we become bitches and hoes for Pan-Africans. This is my opinion. We cannot be at two places at one time. I'm sorry. Nobody else is doing it. But everybody's telling us to do so. Everybody else is telling us to be hoes for everybody else, care about everybody else besides ourselves. And look at what it's gotten us. What benefit looking at the Brown Coalition has gotten us? But we got civil rights still fighting for immigrants still. They forgot about the black rights. They forgot about civil rights for black folks. A lot of people that's in our Black Caucus in the NAACP and all these other so-called Black organizations are in support of this migrant crisis situation. They are also Pan-African talkers. They all support migrant immigration. They are not talking about what's happening to us, though, collectively. They don't care. There is no empathy. They are hoes against our progression here in America. They are hoes to us being self-destroyed or destroyed. They don't care about our conditions. They just want to ridicule and mock us to make us flee. This is an agenda that they have been working on for quite a while on social media, and it's not going to get no better. That's why we need truth bearers to speak up about how we're being affected by this Pan-African talk. They add no empowerment to us. It's all about fleeing. It's all about being replaced and being happy about it. It's all about starting all over again from ground zero with people that have never, ever led anything in their life and never, ever built anything worth seeing. We have not seen nothing that they can build. They haven't proved nothing, but they're telling us to break ourselves and go elsewhere. That's their solution. They are hoes.
Into that, instead of developing outward and making more infrastructure to accommodate the entire society, right? And so America has room for that too. America has plenty of room for more development to accommodate not only the Americans that are here, but also people who may wish to come here. There's plenty of room on this earth. And America, you know, per square mile, America has a lot less people than other countries, right? You look at China. China has 1.4 billion people and don't even have the homeless problem we have, but they have a lot less land than we do, right? So our problem is one of a lack of infrastructure, big time, but we don't have the infrastructure because we don't have the labor. There's a labor shortage, right? Labor is pretty expensive in the United States. So I think if people just change that mindset, the solution would be to see how, you know, people coming in can be incorporated into it.
So this is his solution, that we just bend over and take it in the butt without any Vaseline or anything. That's what he says to go do. This is the leaders. These are the so-called men in our community that's willing to hop up on platforms and talk the most. He call himself being dressed up talking this bullshit right here.
Into America in a way that they can contribute in a way that makes it better for those who are here and those who wish to be here.
Okay, Rob, go ahead, Robert. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. But Dynast, I just want to say I know you have a very diverse audience, so we don't really have to expound on the topic too much. But I will have to note that we cannot advocate for Black male leadership if whenever we bring up the topic that Black women are the majority of the constituents that are putting in the Democrats, we're being counterproductive to the notion that we want Black male leadership. It just doesn't make sense. They have to be able to be called out.
Well, don't vote Democrat. Problem solved.
But you were just blaming Black men for just voting what Big Mama said.
Yeah, that's to me that's soft as hell. I don't get that shit. Like I don't understand like that. Like you don't understand the number of Black men that are like I had to vote for Biden because my grandmama, my mama, my wife. I'm like, God damn.
I don't believe him. I think he's making that shit up. He said hosts of Black men told him this. What, he talked to a lot of down low men? Is that what you're doing, Dynast Amir? Those types of men are you associating yourself with? Because any real man is not going to be beholden to the grandma. They don't know what you're voting for once you go to the booth. Come on. That don't even make sense. They are not there in the booth with you when you vote. So that's a lie. That is a fucking lie.
So, but what do the numbers say? The numbers say that black women are voting in the Democrats.
That the
majority.
The numbers are still saying that the majority of black men who vote are voting Democrat.
So whenever they said that black women are the ones that won the Democratic Party, that was false.
It's true and false because it was black men and black women, but it's just with the Democratic Party that they're gonna put black women up front.
Okay, so we can get
but you see you see how that's working out though. Like you see what's going on with Fannie Willis, you see what's going on with the lady in Bolton, Illinois. It's starting to backfire now.
Right. And I just wanted to speak on what Theo said. We can't. I understand what you're saying about maybe being soft on immigration, but we can't escape the fact that we're having a trouble with illegal immigration. So even though immigrants make up a large amount of the hard labor force, a lot of black Americans don't have businesses, so we aren't really benefiting from all of these illegal immigrants coming through. And I'm not one of those new LLC guys who are just telling everyone to go out and start businesses, because starting a business is very risky, and 90% of businesses fail. And people need to be able to pay their bills. In actuality, most millionaires in America are created by having a W-2 job and continually investing into your 401k until you're 65 and owning a paid-off house. So even though it sounds super cool, hip, millennial to be out here starting all these businesses and shit like that, in reality, most of these businesses are failing. Everyone isn't Warren Buffett. Everyone isn't the Walmart and Amazon and everything like that. It sounds good, but we have to stick with reality at some point. Most of us just have jobs, bro.
Right. No, I agree. I definitely agree with you that just, that whole push, LLC, that's the stuff that becomes trendy. I agree with you. It's definitely, it was a trend. The CEO at one point, the LLC, the generational wealth, the billion, mindset, all of that stuff is very trendy, and it's not feasible for everyone.
Yeah, you're making a great point. I don't see that as much as I did a couple years ago.
Right, because it was just trendy. These catchphrases, they trend for a while and then they die down, right? But it's not,
Again, I think their priority and what they're thinking on is really skewed. We have, again, dangerous migrants in our midst. Our levels of protection is really lacking. There needs to be a real conversation about us protecting ourselves and learning what to do for protecting ourselves against these migrants, especially if you're in those types of cities that have this going on right now. Women are left, without protection for the most part, and they're going to be the most vulnerable and the most hit up when it comes to these crimes. But they're not talking as if there's a danger going on. They're talking as if everything is just a big inconvenience and a misunderstanding, and that's not right.
All right, happening today in New York City, a migrant teen was arrested for shooting at Times Square on Saturday, back in court. Meanwhile, he is imposing a curfew at even more shelters. A new report reveals the moped crime spree goes far beyond the Big Apple. It's organized. Madison Allworth joins us live with the latest. Madison.
Good morning, Brian. A lot to get to today. New York is expanding a curfew for migrant shelters as crime within that community increases. The latest, a Venezuelan migrant accused of shooting an innocent bystander in Times Square and then firing at the police officer who was trying to arrest him, is now in court. The 15-year-old Jesus Alejandro Rivas Figuera is being charged as an adult after prosecutors say he tried to flee. The migrant and his mother, who started living in New York City migrant housing last year, packed up their belongings on Friday after the crimes, fleeing to Yonkers, where he was found 24 hours later behind a wardrobe. The alleged shooter being charged with attempted murder, assault, attempted assault, and weapons possession. But the problems expand far beyond that. With an increase in robberies perpetrated by migrants on scooters, we are now learning that the attacks may be coordinated and linked to large crime groups. One migrant telling the Post, quote, "It's much bigger than me. In a million years, I never thought you'd catch me. I've been going to Miami every 3 weeks, and it's much bigger than me." The Venezuelan migrant is alleged to be a part of an illicit network that has been linked to robberies around New York City, Yonkers, New Jersey, and Florida, with proceeds being sent back to South America. Now, New York City is responding in part by imposing curfews on 24 migrant shelters. The curfews will be in place from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. But this represents just a fraction of the city's migrant population. These new curfews cover around 3,600 migrants. And just to put that in perspective, there are currently 67,000 migrants in more than 200 facilities here in New York City. Brian?
So, Madison, it sounds like this Venezuelan gang has used the very lax border policies on our southern border to get these MS-13 people into the New York City area specifically to be a crime gang.
Yes, it does seem that that is the case. They're taking advantage of an open border in order to not just to get here and to claim asylum, as obviously people are doing across the border, but to, in fact, be in a city where there are more lax DA policy and prosecution in order to perpetrate crimes that then send revenues back to South America.
So they've done their research. They know which cities they can get away with more.
This one.
Correct.
Crazy. All right, Madison, thank you very much.
So it's a real problem with crime. It's not going to get any better. They're talking about escaping and accepting and not coalescing around trying to sue, trying to be a clear voice with force, not letting our anger be known. Collectively, they're acting as if it's no big deal. It's no big deal.
You know, I think the problem is that it's not always about being super rich. Like, going into business doesn't have to be about being wealthy. It can just be a livelihood, right? It can just be something to, make money. I think all too often people are just looking at all aspects of economic endeavor as becoming rich and famous, right? We it comes from television. It comes from just this how social media has pushed these lifestyles down our throat, that we should just be chasing the money, right? Sometimes it's just good enough to have a livelihood, to live a decent life.
Did you guys hear this? You guys hear this? Come on.
And when you can dial back and realize what is enough, I think the anxiety about losing, things, it disappears, or it isn't as pronounced, because we're wealthy, man. And for the most part,
we are not wealthy. What is he talking about? Let me see what you guys are saying, because he's annoying. Always want to work hard in someone else's country. Facts. What's up, Charlie Shaw? Thank you for coming through. You said these people are unproductive in their own countries and have lots of unused land. Mexico has a lot of land that's unpopulated, and so does Africa. They just don't want to work at developing it. Again, they need to be the ones pointed out as not having their countries develop. It is not our problem. They're trying to make it our problem. They're trying to make us feel like it's our problem that other places are not developed. So talk to the Africans that have fled for many years now. Stop talking to us about that. Michael Ferguson says, when were we ever protected from anyone in this country. I'm saying we got to now think about protection of ourselves. I think that get a gun legally, get the gun, pellet gun that ADOS said. Could you say that again? ADOS invented the name of that gun that pellet gun that you mentioned that's legal. We got to do more with encouraging our women to protect themselves, not think about men saving them, because a lot of times we're alone. A lot of times we shop on our own. A lot of times we go to work on our own. A lot of times we're at the gas station or at a store, at a Dollar Mart, at wherever, out and about. We need to learn what to do instead of freezing up and not doing anything. But instead of him saying, sisters, y'all gotta protect yourself. A lot of times we're not gonna be around when you are alone out and about. These are the changes that's happening in our world. Go get yourself suited and booted. Go figure out how to protect yourself. Go talk to your uncle, your dad, your grandpappy, your brother, someone that knows. If they don't know, go to a professional. This is the time to not waste on other frivolous stuff like travel, but they ain't gonna say that part. Dynast Amir makes a living, a killing off of y'all traveling and listening to him. So he's never gonna say, save your money and buy weapons instead. Save your money and learn how to fend for yourself now. Get security around your house. Get what do you call an alarm system if you can afford that. Figure out what you can do legally. Get least thing you can get is pepper spray. Learn how to use it. Learn to have it in your hand when you're walking about. Look for things that could be out of place, out of order. Look for people moving a certain way behind you. Look behind you when you walk. Go different directions when you go out. Don't take the same route when you go a certain place. Leave at different times instead of the same time every day, in case someone's watching you, in case someone's following you. Check for things like people trying to follow you to kidnap you. There are rings out here. There are human trafficking rings that are out here. I'm sure that there's an element coming from these migrants. These illegal immigrants are coming over here to embolden that type of activity. Not everybody coming over here is going to be trying to find a job. Now we are surrounded by other elements that are dangerous. Why can't we talk about the reality of that and encourage women and men alike to get prepared for that instead of escapism being preached by Pan-Africans? That's all they know how to preach is escapism or settling for what is happening to us. That's what they're doing.
Travel, you realize that, man, we're a wealthy country. Like the average person in the United States, don't get me wrong, there are homeless people, there are people who go to bed hungry. But for the most part, we're a very wealthy country. The resources are here. We have the capacity for more people to come here. It's just about figuring out how do we make America work for everybody who's here and for those who desire to be here.
You see how weak he sounds? That sounds so fucking ridiculous. Again, he must be a Democrat. It's called Burner. I'm writing it down right now. Burner, Under Armour. Under Armour. Thank you so much for that. ARMOR. Okay, I'm gonna look that up after I get done. I'm sorry to hear if you really have cancer, Kaidan. I'm sorry, and you might not have a week. Don't ever say you have what the doctors tell you you have. Charlie Shaw says, did you hear about the illegal who was deported 4 times and had 6 DUIs, and he just recently unalived 2 people driving drunk? Wow. No, I haven't heard that one. If you have a link, let me know. ADOS, okay, says, ADOS Armor says, Evenit says, it's Under Armour. This Burner, BURNA, women and men, go get that. Check into that, Under Armour. Michael Ferguson says, I feel that part, sister. And we as black men do a terrible job of protecting y'all. And I'm sorry y'all feel that way. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Double Trouble says, imagine if niggas got a low taper fade. Okay. The burner. Okay. Ferguson says, we are wealthy. Black Americans are one of the top wealthiest nation. The problem is we are not together, so we don't see the money. Yeah. I don't know about wealthiest anymore. I think that is a outdated perception. I think that more and more of the middle class that we used to know has been gutted underneath our noses. I think that it's more of the rich class versus the poor class that's being sustained. I think more and more of the middle class is dying out. That's just my opinion. Charlie Shaw says, always went to work hard in someone else's country. Exactly. Flee. LOL. Yeah, that's what he says. Go flee. Okay, let me go back up. Mr. Slowdown says, we have all the skills because we have a melting pot in this country. I think we need to select action leaders instead of politicians. Something. Easy Act says, globalists plan to make Americans poor or dependent, everyone treated the same. Is that the plan? It sounds like it. It's working. Mr. Slowdown says, I will disagree that giving money and houses to immigrant arriving is not the proper way to deal with the problem. No, it's emboldening them to keep coming. And Americans are going to have to band together. We will get through this. We are our first world and we all have skills. White Americans, join forces with us. Everyone that's American, join forces together. Stop being the way we've been, because now our country is being attacked and you all are being affected, whether you like it or not. It's happening and it's inevitable. Michael Ferguson says, that's a fact, too much pointing the finger and no tangible solutions. Yeah. He said, money is not the solution. I don't know what you mean. Other countries are corrupted where people are not able to speak up or done with dealing with this. Also, the process is very long. I think the better question is, how can we help others to help ourselves? Well, we got to start in America. That's all I know. This situation with trying to be somewhere else that you're not at and that you don't know nothing about, it's not working out for us. Too much chatter, no action, below zero says. Mr. Slow Down says, I think we need to think how we can help our neighbors. For instance, Mexico is increasing their country's annual income by creating infrastructure right now. The president is not corrupted. Okay, I don't know about that, but okay. Below zero says, don't blame anyone but oneself. Okay. And Michael Ferguson says he's tripping. Yes, he is. This is called weak.
And I think part of that is dialing back the greed, that individuals have, and thinking more about the collective, benefits of working together and just having enough, knowing what is enough and having enough, and not getting caught up in, this lifestyle that we're afraid of losing that we really don't have or need.
Okay, guys, link to the chat room. If you're going to call in and ask the conversation.
He sound dumb.
Click on a link. I'll put it back in the chat room. We'll close out in about 10, 15 minutes, but link is in the chat room. Click on that link and you can add to the convo. Kasha, you want to add to the conversation?
Yeah, I do have something to add. It may not be.
Here's another Pan-African. Let's see how dumb he sounds.
As necessarily productive, but it is something that I think about often. I think that we don't need to be trying to follow anybody's blueprint on how we should quote unquote develop. What we see as development today is really degradation. It's really bad for wherever you're living at. So I think we need to step back from that and try to create our own little rubric. And maybe maybe doing that, maybe we'll find and answer all of our problems.
So guys, links in the chat room. Go ahead and click on that link and call in if you want to add to the comment. But yeah, this is self-inflicted. Robert, do you think, specifically black people in Chicago, you think they're gonna vote turn Chicago red, or what you think?
No, I don't know where everyone's black background comes from. Some people may come from well-to-do backgrounds. Some people may be middle income or lower income. I come from a lower income black background. So most of the elders in my family are on Social Security. Most of them are on food stamps. Even the young women are on food stamps. And as long as the Democrats always lead with a government assistance face,
Robert, if I can interject, I'm sorry, brother, to cut you off. It's rude. Last election, the brother came on my timeline and responded to a post. I voted for Donald Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump again in 2020 this year. He was like, I'm voting for Biden because, my sisters, they need help. And like basically what you're saying. And I was like, what? I vote for the sisters because they need help. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's how they think. Like whenever you're telling a black person who solely relies on the government, they're in Section 8 housing, they take food stamps and everything like that, you're basically asking them to go against their biological desires of shelter and food. They're always going to vote Democrat as long as the majority of the black population, or not even the majority of the voters get some sort of government assistance. It's a very hard grip to loosen with the black community because,
again, where are these men that's supporting these single women on welfare, on disability? Where are they at? They don't want us to have anything, but the immigrants are getting everything for free, but we're supposed to just let go and struggle on our own, even though jobs are drying up, corporations are leaving, shutting down. More and more of us are being squeezed out. The solution is to get off the system and become refugees ourselves. That's their solution. Again, they don't have no qualms about others coming over here enjoying free stuff. I just showed y'all how much money they're giving to illegal migrants. They're not mad about that, though. They want to attack us further. They want to insult us further. They want us to be without anything else. They want to collapse us further, dry us up, and spit us out. They want to increase this chance of us becoming refugees and lacking further. This is what these men's suggestions are. Well, we don't need free stuff no more, but y'all not helping out enough to support women. You're single. You're mingling abroad. You're passporting brothers. You're whoremongers looking for pussy elsewhere. But yet you want the women in America to be without, to do without? What, for your ego? When y'all not doing nothing to help us out as men, collectively. Maybe some with their families, yeah. But collectively, y'all could care less about women. Y'all step over us if we're homeless. When have you helped homeless people in America, in your city, near you? I bet you they have never helped out homeless people. I bet you they've never spoken to a homeless person before. How are you doing? Do you need some money? Can I give you some clothes that I can't fit no more? Do you think these men have done anything to help out anyone that's down on their luck? No. But yet they have this rhetoric, this white supremacy rhetoric about what black people are getting, which is less and less and less and less and less, but they want it lessened more. This is their suggestion that we get.
A lot of us get government assistance.
Well, you know, that's drying up too. So pretty soon, black people is going to have to be forced to, you know.
Hey, Cashman, you got a great point, because like Section 8 here in Atlanta, like I remember the community, the neighborhood I lived in, you know, there was Section 8 up and down the street. Now, I don't know where people get Section 8 at.
Yep. It's becoming increasingly harder to obtain a link card. All of that stuff is drying up, you know. The more money that they pump into this military industrial.
And once that dries up, there's going to be more homeless and destituted people of America running around looking like refugees in their own country. And this is what Pan-Africans are banging and hoping for. So that we have no options, we have no choices, we have to go and do what they desire for us to do, which is break ourselves even more and become more defrauded and become a refugee just like every other black person around the globe struggling to come over here to America. That is ultimately the Pan-Africans' blueprint. That's what they have envisioned for us. Let's take the little bit that they have and have nothing for them, so that they have their hands bend behind their backs, their arms bend behind their backs, so that they can be forced better, so that they can be told what to do like they're slaves again. That's what Pan-Africans envision. That's why they always want to go for the vulnerable. Don't we have it bad already, the vulnerable? Aren't they now facing crises right now themselves? Do you think that they need to hear this message? Do you think women that's on Section 8 or SSI or disability or welfare should be listening to this message? Where is the help once that is done? Who's going to come and support them after? Nobody. Nobody. There will be no support from men. You guys are already preaching how you shouldn't help women with kids now. You're already supporting not to have stepfathers in the home now. You're already supporting if a woman has a child, she is a has-been now. She's a hoe now. She's not worthy of nothing now. That's what you're preaching and teaching right now. But we're supposed to let you lead us with this rhetoric right here?
The less money they got to go around for public aid. So, yeah, you niggas gonna have to pick a side pretty soon, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and I agree. But there's a long waiting list where I'm from. You might not get called until 3-4 years from the time that you even apply. So I think eventually you're gonna have to decide. And I think whenever they do decide, a lot of black people will go red. But as of right now, as long as we still have that older generation intact, we probably still have a few years of blue, no matter who. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't see it changing. The Democrats can do whatever they want right now, just like they're doing now. They can get very radical because they know that they still have the constituents here on the black side. That's just real.
Go ahead, Mr. Samuel.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Real good.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, you know, the Democrats, they got the female vote in the back pocket. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just the black female; they got the white female because they got that Roe versus Wade ruling in their favor.
Nah. Other groups of people. It's it's pretty much put down 50-50 for the most part. There's only black people that vote Democrat the way we do.
Yeah, I mean, Planned Parenthood is big in the African American community all across the country. So, you know what I mean? They employ a lot of people as well.
Have you guys seen that new cringe Parenthood video? Planned Parenthood video?
No, I haven't seen it.
Hell no, play it, Dynast. I haven't seen it.
Oh, man, y'all gotta see this shit, bro. Oh, my God. And they using black women as the face of it. This shit right here is cringe. And I'm gonna do a show on this tomorrow. Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. Hold on, let me play this real quick. Go ahead, Mr. Sam, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that it's that Roe versus Wade. Last time I seen Biden on television, doing a little campaign speech, getting ready for the 2024 elections. The whole entire constituency behind them were all females chanting, Biden 2024. So that looks like that's the angle that they're going to take for 2024. And as far as black people, I think they are. I think the crushing effects of the inflation is causing a lot of middle class black people to start moving towards conservative values with the Republicans as well. And even me, I'm saying I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm thinking about maybe moving over to the Republican side as well. If this thing doesn't get sorted out with the inflation as well. So, I actually grew up a Republican.
Just long-winded warriors, man. I gotta take a break from that bullshit, man. Let me show y'all what Biden is doing, though. Eating chicken as a way of pandering to us. We have no respect by this president whatsoever.
Meanwhile, and one point there to go a little bit deeper, among black men, Trump actually wins by 3 points in this poll, 49-46.
Shocking. First of all, overall, the Biden-Harris coalition could be called the Humpty Dumpty coalition right now. Just falling apart. The Latino vote on the ground, the youth vote on the ground, the black vote on the ground. This is not good. Now, there is a year to turn it around. The black male, that's a stunner. Black women have been in the lead, but black men haven't been that far behind. I think you've got a constituency that is losing hope and looking for change. There's a lot of the things that black men were voting for didn't happen yet. Nothing yet on voting rights. Nothing yet on police reform. Nothing yet on criminal justice reform. So a lot of those issues that were important for black male voters haven't been addressed yet, and the economic pain is real. Last thing I'll say is a lot of black male voters are non-college working folks, and some of the stuff that is not—
And they should walk away from Biden. They should be done with Biden. They should be done with Democrats. Why do they have to be Republicans? Why can't they just be independents like me? Why do they have to choose the other side? I mean, you can still be independent and vote for a Republican. They shouldn't want to represent Democrats no more. They should walk away. They should encourage that.
I actually grew up a Republican, or I lean more towards conservative values as a young man. And then when I found out that,
I got to fast forward this clown. He's just too dumb. Sorry.
Recently in my research that
Oh, no.
This is what it takes to take on Alzheimer's. Awareness of the fact that nearly 2/3 of people diagnosed
self-insight, pleasure, and empowerment. All of these myths around sex and virginity can be so hurtful and overwhelming. But here's the one truth you should remember. Sex is defined by one thing and one thing only: you. Maybe that's being fingered for the first time. Maybe it's having anal sex. Maybe it's having your first orgasm. Maybe it's masturbating for the first time, or when you enthusiastically consent to sex. That's the beauty of your sexual journey. You're in charge, and you can figure it out on your own terms. Choosing to have sex, when, what kind, where, is something that only you get to want.
So this is what they want to talk to us about in Planned Parenthood. This is the types of rhetoric and propaganda that's being levied against us as Black Americans. Those are the things that they're telling us we should feel is important to us. They're trying to train us on what is important for our vote, what we should be thinking upon, which is sex first. Well, we got to survive first. Now look at Biden. Look at how stupid and ridiculous this is.
Got your chicken, your orange soda, or Kool-Aid, if that's what you're into. Oh, I'm really sorry that Jill forgot the watermelon and hot sauce. Listen, I absolutely love the blacks, especially when you people vote for me and not Trump.
Bro, this can't be real. Biden did not say to some black folks eating chicken.
But he did. And that just shows you how much, talking about he left off watermelon and hot sauce. This is how disrespected we are. This is why we're not able to come together, because we're not mad at that kind of stuff. That should be the reasoning for why we vote against him alone. But instead of talking about that, we got to hear about other propaganda against us.
That was one of the most abysmal videos I've ever watched.
Bruh.
Why did they have the unit of that lady up there giving? Could they not get somebody else to give that message?
I think that's the wrong focus, though.
But they're talking about Planned Parenthood, though. They're not talking about Biden disrespecting us eating chicken. They're talking about Planned Parenthood. They're so off base.
I mean, the message was narrow. Her perspective was narrow, but I mean, focusing on her. I get what. Listen, man, you focusing on the wrong thing. But the message was narrow. I mean, and the way she's framing it about the shame. I mean, the reality is, women the burden of the consequences.
Yeah, could you believe that? Let me play some more of that. Let me give you a chance to record that again. The disrespect of this is unbelievable.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get the merch link in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification anytime I go live and make a video.
So I made sure you guys got your chicken, your orange soda, or Kool-Aid, if that's what you're into. Oh, I'm really sorry that Jill forgot the watermelon and hot sauce. Listen, I absolutely love the blacks, especially when you people vote for me and not Trump.
Bro, this can't be real. Biden did not say this.
I mean, if that is not a rallying cry to feel like we've been disrespected and that we need to get away from him, I don't know what else is. That is so disrespectful. And for a black family to sign on for that, I mean, where did they go find that family, though? And he looked as scary as hell. He looked like he's about one step in the grave right now. Let's hear Biden again sound ridiculous, bumbling when he's speaking. He is concerning many people about how he is looking when he's speaking. He does not look well, y'all.
Good afternoon. Before we begin, I'm going to make this statement, let it stand on its own. I'm not going to take any questions, but I'll be taking questions tomorrow and the next day.
He says, Biden announced during the press conference the Senate had passed a $95.34 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. $95.34 billion. That's what he announced at a press conference, y'all. $95.34 billion. It says during his press conference, the 81-year-old repeatedly said history is watching while appearing angry and confused.
For Republicans in Congress who think they can oppose funding for Ukraine and not be held accountable, history is watching. History is watching. History is watching. Failure to support Ukraine at this critical moment will never be forgotten.
It says Biden's swipe at the Republican Party comes after months of difficult negotiations about America's role abroad. President Biden then began explaining stockpiles while slurring his words.
And the way it works is we supply Ukraine with military equipment from our stockpiles. And then we spend our money replenishing those stockpiles so our military has access. Stockpiles that are made right here in America by American workers.
You guys get it? He sounds like he's about to have dementia. Sounds like he's on the verge of having Alzheimer's. Sounds like he is losing it. We need him gone. We cannot trust, what's her name? The vice president, Harris, whatever, Kamala Harris. She got to go. She's got to go. She's got to go. Now, it's just frustrating to me. I think that concludes the video, because listening to these men on Dynast Amir is laughable. It's disrespecting the situation at hand. They are lames. All they can do is point fingers and talk shit about what is going on in America and causing us or making us try to feel like we're guilty for doing something wrong, when we don't have no control over the government and what the government decides to do, what globalists are doing in conjunction with what Biden is doing. We're up on the ropes, y'all. People are coming for our jugular. America's being gutted right now. And the best that we can get from these men that are Pan-Africans is woe is us, and you know, get out, leave America, start over again from zero, become destituted yourself, look forward to the demise and the decline of America. You are not included in the festivities of what's going to change and upgrade in America. You will be ousted, whether you like it or not. Don't fight back. Don't get mad about the right thing. Think about escaping. Become a Houdini. Let me see what you guys are saying, then I gotta go. Can you guys do me a favor by liking the video? I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel, but it will really help to spread awareness more with liking the video. Hopefully you guys would support me in understanding that I'm for Black Americans first. I'm for America first. I'm for Americans first. I'm for America first. I have to be. Okay, let me go back. LOBO, so that means you are a spiga? Charlie Shaw says, okay. Lynn M says, all these panty men do is sit on social media and complain about Black American women. Yeah, they complain about us every waking moment of the day. Charity begins at home. Help your people in their homeland, Lynn M says. Exactly. Help out in America. I bet you they have never touched and talked to homeless people to support them. I bet you they never talked to a single woman with kids to help her out, but they want to blame the problems, the woes of America, when the woes of the problem are illegal immigrants right now. They're not mad about that, though. What's up, Ms. D? Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you. Most Black Americans are not on welfare. They're not. Mostly are whites are on welfare. They have the numbers more than we have. So stop it. Charlie Shaw says they know that they just want it to end because they think control is somehow. They want it to end so that they can have some say so, but they don't have no solution. They want to have say so bad over women, but they have no solutions and they have no money to do anything with. So it appears, because all they know how to do is squander the money. Yeah, what are they talking about? Ms. D says. These men are weak. Weak as water, Lynn M says. ADOS and Bennett says they are scared they haven't built in thousands of years. Americans are used to change. Yeah, they don't mind us regressing backwards. That's what they want to see us in, a really terrible, hideous state of being. Charlie Shaw says they just want to pump and dump because most of these dudes aren't even having relations. They are incels. Exactly. They want an opportunity to get pussy. They don't care about our survival. They only care about their tingling-dingling. That's all they care about. I think they're wrong. I think we are either not going to vote or vote Republicans. We're not in their pocket. Yeah, we should not vote or vote for Republican. That's the solution. That's it. Nigeria is looking at 2025 for indoor toilets. They are extremely fearful. They lack the ability to adjust. They're having problems with their Naira right now as we speak. Yes, they are off base, Ms. D says. Also says some of the older voters off code, but the Democrats are in trouble. Black women always blame for the Democrats, but I think women is done with Biden as well. We better be. Charlie Shaw says, blame us while they sit on the dang on sofa. Yes, exactly. What the F? Seven Golly says, Biden is crazy. Yes, he is. Yes, wow. Oh no, Biden is straight up racist. Yes, he is. Eating chicken. Talking about we left off the watermelon in the hot sauce. Yes, record that, Seven Golly. This is crazy. He looked and sound crazy. That's exactly right, Lynn M. And that's what I was thinking. He looks like a mannequin. He's alive. Yeah, he is definitely on a prayer, I think. I won't be surprised if he died. One day we wake up and he's no longer here with us because he looks like he's on the verge of that right now. Charlie Shaw says, I know this is not real. Please tell me it's not. Yes, it is, unfortunately. God damn, did Biden really say that? Yes, he did. He has no respect for us. This should be all we need to see. Charlie Shaw says, I hope someone altered it because it would be the craziest crap he has ever said yet. No, he said it. Yes, he said it. Charlie Shaw, he said it. Lynn M says, Biden is robbing the United States of America. He needs to be impeached. Yes, he does. He is incompetent. Yes. Lynn said he needs to get impeached today. Facts. What video is that for? Black Biden saying that racist? Okay, he was on a channel I got it from called The Officer Tatum. The Officer Tatum. Let's listen to it one more again. Hold on. Let me let you guys listen to it one more time. It's ridiculous. He didn't waste no time talking crazy to us. Hold on. Look at how pasty he looks.
Your chicken, your orange soda, or Kool-Aid, if that's what you're into. Oh, I'm really sorry that Jill forgot the watermelon and hot sauce. Listen, I absolutely love the blacks, especially when you people vote for me and not Trump.
Bro, this can't be real. Biden did.
It's on Officer Tatum's channel. That one, Officer Tatum. Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, Biden can bring the chicken talk to Ukraine. Yeah, he could do that, but he's not going to do that. Scamia is, what does that say? Scamla? Oh, okay. Kamala is clown, who is a chameleon. She's black one day and Indian the next, laughing hyena. Exactly, Lynn M says. That was insane. Hit the like. Thank you. Please hit the like, y'all. Please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. They help African, Caribbeans, and Latinos with kids. Yes. Oh, yeah. And then tell us that we don't need to have nobody in our home. We don't need no help with our people. FBI says interesting. And pasty basty. Yes, he is. So in conclusion, y'all, I hope that this will tell and show how the priorities for Pan-Africans is off center, off base. All they care about is trying to sell the dream of Africa, telling us to spend up our little bit of money we have left so that we can be destitute. That's my opinion of what's going on with Pan-Africans. You would think after the death of Anja Africa, that global green book would be not talking about Africa anytime soon, considering the issues that she brought up, her so-called friend brought up. But instead of talking about, protection of women and understanding that there's no help for health services in the Gambia, not adequate services in the Gambia, you would think that she would be on that tip. But no, they're on the tip. Pan-Africans are on the tip of still telling us to come to Africa. Telling us to invest in Ghana. You cannot make this shit up. All they want us to do is spend our money till we have none. They're making us squeezed out in America. They're making others invest and lose money in Africa. In the middle, we'll be gutted out. We'll be asked out. We've got to stop this Pan-African talk, in my opinion. Please like and share the video. Please subscribe to this channel. I would say anything but Biden right now, Trump more so than not. Stick a fork in Biden, exactly. Let's go, Brandon. I don't know who Brandon is. Pennies get paid to push Africa to Black Americans. That's all they get. They're enriched off of selling us out. They're enriched off of making us stagnated and confused. They're making us useless to ourselves. Where are real men that's going to stand up and tell us to protect ourselves and fight back? Where are those men at? That's what I would like to know. Please like and share the video. Thank you for support. Thank you for subscribing to me, Outlaw, Josie Wells, and everybody else. Please bless up and have a great day.